From the top of a rock and a frock with a cock, this is Debaser, a film podcast. I'm Jared Rusk, and I'm joined by my co-host, Will Taylor. On this show, we explore both new and familiar movies to bring you details and discussion about them, all in an effort to debase the films and ourselves. Today's episode, a fun and progressive 90s Australian LGBTQ film that made international acclaim, an Oscar winner for Best Costume Design, and nominee of multiple Golden Globes, BAFTAs, and AFI Awards, as well as winner of the GLAAD Media Award for Outstanding Film. After the break, Pride Month continues into July on Debaser as Will and I discuss the film, The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. Stay tuned.
You gotta kick it off with a killer to grab attention. Then you gotta take it up a notch.
The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us.
Who are you?
I'm Shiva, the god of death.
Cells.
Interlinked.
It's like people only do things because they get paid. And that's just really sad.
I did think of something, though.
Okay,
how's your Australian accent?
Oi, mate, if I can say cunt on pod, then I will absolutely hit the fucking Australian.
So
that was a little bit South African.
Can you do Krennic? You know, Ben Mendelsohn?
You're not talking to the drag queens, are you, mate?
That's, okay, I was going to feed you like,
I can try.
G'day there, mate. You're not building a bus there, are you, mate? You're not trying to put some drag queens in it. You're not going to take them to Alice Springs, are you, mate?
I can try.
You want to give it a shot?
Yeah, no chance that I don't fucking start laughing or what have you. Yeah.
A man of your talents. Building a desert bus. That's Michael Caine.
That is Michael Caine.
I told you I would build that desert bus, and I failed you.
The sad thing is I don't know a lot of Ben Mendelsohn quotes other than like when he's talking like Krennic, but that's in a normal ass English, like American English accent. So I can do
Priscilla Desert Bus, Priscilla sequels, Priscilla TV shows, Priscilla Broadway shows. I need more.
What's that from?
Cowkite, the Cowkite speech.
Oh, the Cowkite. Pure, unadulterated.
That's what I should have
drag
opened
queens.
Yeah.
I need refined drag queens. I need drag queens under the surface.
I mean, we got to talk about how often Adam dead names Bernadette.
At least
fucked up.
Once or twice.
Oh, it's like a running bit. It's like 5 or 6 times at least. And it even is like the last thing he says to her when they're driving away. Yeah. When they're driving away from the casino.
That's crazy.
I had the subtitles on, so maybe that was why I caught it more. Because it is kind of like an aside.
That's wild.
It's so... When you look up the 2 things that have not aged well about this film.
Yeah.
Number 1, it's the...
You're not keeping
Bob's
any of this.
wife. No, I'm keeping this.
Okay.
This is staying. Fuck it. But yeah, Bob's wife is like the worst part. I was openly like, oh no, has that happened? And then the Adam just constantly dead naming Bernadette and not having like a mea culpa for it, like never being like, Bernadette, I'm so sorry for being a dickhead. No, he's just a dickhead, unrepentant dickhead, and they kind of they don't make up, but like after he gets attacked, you know, it softens him a little bit. Yeah. But he's still a fucking dickhead to Bernadette about being trans, almost. You know.
I wonder why that is.
He just keeps dead naming her, really.
Yeah, and I know it's like, oh, I'm an agent of chaos, and I like getting a row out of people, but...
Yeah. I saw someone refer to him as a twonk, because he's not quite a twink. He's too buff.
He's too big.
He's too big.
Yeah, that is a twonk or twonk. It's
we're getting canceled
Twinkie
now.
hunk.
We can't say that.
No,
we can't
I can say that. It's so as of right of this recording, it is still June, so we are still bisexual for another couple weeks. I'm absolutely allowed to say twonk. Don't go at me.
Don't come for us. We're allowed to say twonk.
Exactly.
We gotta pass.
If I have to kiss a dude just to be able to say the word twonk, I will.
So Will,
yes,
28 Years Later is out.
Yes, it is.
And I think we both decided we're not going to see it in theaters.
No, and it's a stark contrast from like, 2 weeks ago when you asked me if I was going to go see it.
Oh, yeah, you were all gung-ho, and I was like, eh. Because I was thoroughly not excited for the franchise to be revived, because I felt like, why now?
Yeah.
However, I did not know or realize, I guess, that Danny Boyle was attached to direct.
Yeah, he was the original director. And Alex Garland is either producing or wrote it, or he has some sort of hand in it.
I think he wrote this one.
Yeah.
I think. But even he has started directing lately, and I have no interest in seeing the last 2 movies he made because I've heard some very divisive things about it.
Was it Civil War?
It's Civil War
and the other
Warfare.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, and he made that one at the same time with a lot of the same actors or something too. Yeah. But anyway, I'll probably get around to seeing it, but just I'm not like I got other things to do.
Yeah, I'm not seeing that in theaters. I'm not paying money.
I'm not prioritizing it.
No,
yeah, exactly. Now the reviews have been filling in for 28 years later, and I'm more intrigued to see it, and you're less intrigued to see it.
Correct.
But neither one of us are intrigued enough to actually take time out of our busy schedules of being dads to go see it.
Yeah. Watching movies is expensive in the theaters. Getting a babysitter is annoying to do. And originally, before I had seen some of the clips and heard some of the story beats in this movie, me and my wife were supposed to see it this coming Thursday. This is coming out like 2 weeks later. So what have you, right? We were all ready to do that. I canceled my Warhammer game that night. We were going to see it. And then I saw the clip, the Power Rangers clip.
Like the actual scene.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the listener, this movie has a notorious ending. I don't know what it is, but that's the biggest spoiler you're going to get because I'm not going to reveal what it is.
Yeah.
Because I can't. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But I do know that it's being memed to death right now on social media.
Because it's just so weird and jarring.
That's what I've heard.
And so it was actually the same day. The memes were going around about like 28 inches later. Like apparently one of the zombies has got a giant dick. And that's funny. I'm like, haha.
But that's not a plot spoiler.
No, but male nudity is always a very silly thing. And, I think it's funny. So I was like, oh, hell yeah, let's go see the giant zombie dick movie. Let's go see that. That's funny. And then I saw the Power Ranger stuff was popping up. And I was like, whoa, what the fuck is this? And then I saw the clip and I was like, oh, no. This doesn't fly with me. I don't care for this. Like, and this is apparently the ending of the movie. What the fuck? And then I read some, summaries of things that happen in the film,
you just straight up spoiled yourself.
Oh yeah, of course. Well, I mean, I do this sometimes.
I know you do.
It is what it is because my memory is so bad that I'll usually forget by the time I get to the actual movie.
Yeah,
but man, and like the second movie is non-canon. Which I know, like, some people don't care about the second movie. I liked it.
Yeah.
But I understand how some people don't like the second one, and that's okay. That's fine. But there are things that happen in the second film that could have explained away some of the things that happen in this film that they're trying to do. That, because the second one no longer exists, it is like very, I don't know, you can't set up rules in your world and then do some of the things that they did. So I'm going to wait for streaming. I will eventually watch it. Hopefully, like, because I'm going to go in with negative expectations, I'll enjoy it. But I don't see how they make a third film where the Power Rangers are the main villains. And people take it seriously. I don't see it. So I don't even know what else Danny Boyle's done. What else has he done? I've heard his name before.
Long storied career.
Yeah,
I think Shallow Grave was his first movie. He introduced the role to Ewan McGregor, basically.
Oh, Word.
Also, Train Spotting.
Was his big one. Yeah. Didn't care for Train Spotting.
He did a Lego sequel, years later called T2 Train Spotting 2. Although I think there was a book for that one too, and he just made the movie for it.
That's funny.
But it does a thing where it kind of like brings all the actors back like 20, 30 years later, and they're all aged, but like reflecting on what it was like to be drug-addled youths. If we ever cover those movies, I should have Courtney on because she loves those books.
Yeah.
She's a big fan of the guy that writes those. I can't remember the author. That's off the top of my head. She likes the movies too, but like she loves the guy that writes those books. She's read all of his books. He also did the Steve Jobs movie that Aaron Sorkin wrote that I liked.
Wow, which
Fassbender is Steve
that's
Jobs?
the one I haven't seen. That's
the great one. Oh, you saw the Ashton Kutcher one?
I saw the Ashton Kutcher one.
I'm so sorry.
It is what it is.
No, the Danny Boyle's is really good.
Okay,
it's one of Jason's favorite movies,
movie,
and he sat me down with it. And I was like, "Damn, that is a good movie." I don't even like Steve Jobs, but I came away being like, "This is a good movie." And 127 Hours, the James Franco movie about the real life hiker.
Never saw that, but I've seen the interview with the hiker.
Yeah. That's off the top of my head, but he's He's done a lot of movies.
Imagine seeing 127 Hours, and then after he
Slumdog Millionaire. I'm so sorry, I forgot.
I've never seen that one.
That was his most prestigious. He won the Oscar for that.
That's
one.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's Dev Patel too, isn't it?
God, yeah, it is.
Yeah,
and
I
it
know.
was
Like
he was a kid in that movie.
Yeah, you think I would have seen that, but I have not. And I love Dev Patel. He's great.
I don't think it holds up. I think
really?
that was a movie of its moment. And when people watch it now, they're like, this? Unless, you got an affinity for Bollywood, but even then, like, it's a white guy making a Bollywood movie, so it's not an authentic Bollywood kind of movie. It's just kind of, I don't know if paying homage is the right word.
Speaking of, outsiders making films about things they have nothing to do with, we are going to talk about a film that has 3 straight men playing gay and transgendered characters.
You know what, Will?
What a crazy transition. That was so good, wasn't
beautiful segue.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Okay.
I appreciate that.
Now, Will.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that's how you did that because I have so much to say.
Oh, okay.
Let's
dig
into it. All right. We're here to talk about The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
Fuck yeah. Let's go.
All right. This movie was released on September 8th, 1994.
Mm-hmm.
We were but wee little 4-year-olds.
I was a 4-year-old kid. Yeah.
When this movie came out. It is available to watch on Tubi, Pluto, Freevee, and the Roku channel. Those are all real things. I promise they're not from the meme.
Like, which one of those did you make up?
Those are all real, I swear. Although by the time you hear this, 3 of them will have been bought out by another one.
Oh, for real?
No.
Oh, I was like,
but they are like conglomerating like that so fast.
I know.
But
it's on Amazon too. But
I think all of those
PDS.
Freevee is Amazon's free thing,
okay,
but I think they're getting rid of it soon.
Gotcha.
But all of those, I believe, are free. I watched it for free on Tubi.
I watched it.
They made you
Amazon.
watch 4 commercials before it started, and then that was it. No more commercial breaks. And I was like, "Hello." Listen, I've been trying to stay in Tubi for a while, because it has like a crazy library. Fucking rules, man.
Yeah,
I'm very happy with Tubi.
You talk about Tubi quite a bit.
Yeah, and they do not saddle you with ads. Like they just make you watch a few up front, like Hulu used to.
Yeah, I know.
Way back in the day.
I know. I know.
My wife and I had a field day on Hulu back before it got completely
awful. We first signed up for it just so Haley could watch Pushing Daisies.
Oh, I love that show. It's so good, man. Anyway, Priscilla, Queen of the Desert stars Hugo Weaving.
Hell yeah.
Guy Pearce, who I always get confused with Val Kilmer. I'm sorry.
Do you really?
I constantly have to really think about it.
You're so faceblind for white people. It's so funny.
I'm always telling Courtney, I'm like, oh yeah, Guy Pearce, he's in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. And she looks at me like, no, that's Val Kilmer. I'm like, oh, shit. Also, it stars Terrence Stamp and Bill Hunter.
Is Bill Hunter Bob?
Yes,
okay.
Bill Hunter is Bob. The film was written and directed by Stephen Elliott. He is an Australian filmmaker that made such films as Frauds, Easy Virtue, and A Few Best Men. Now, Priscilla was only Stephen's second feature film. It was a sophomoric effort, as they say.
Yeah.
And wow, he is now an openly gay man.
Oh, no way.
He did not come out of the closet until 2012. Almost 20 years after this movie came out.
Holy shit.
Isn't, like, I got choked up reading about this.
Knowing that now,
yeah,
the Hugo Weaving character might be a stand-in.
Oh,
almost.
For sure.
Yeah.
I feel like the dialogue is incredibly realistic because Stefan knew these people,
stuff, yeah.
Lived this life.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was ever a drag queen, but I'm sure he was friends with them. Because the dialogue, the characters feel so real and lived in that I don't doubt for a second that they were authentic. Even though they're played by cis men.
Yeah, well, this is the
cis
90s.
hetero men in the 90s.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I guess a more independent underground film, if you will, could have had 3 starring roles played by non-cis hetero men.
Lesser known actors, though.
Yeah, exactly. But the producers probably would have shot it down. He wouldn't have got the funding he wanted, that kind of thing.
Because I was going to say, like, it was hard for them to find actors for this movie.
A lot of people turned down the lead roles. Like Hugo Weaving, Guy Pearce, and the guy that played Bernadette.
Terrence
Stamp were not the first picks.
No.
And it was still, like, taboo in the film industry, not just Hollywood, because this was filmed in Australia, obviously, but it was still taboo in the film industry to play a gay character. It was looked at as career suicide.
Yeah.
And, it took a few more years at least for roles to start getting accolades for it
Exactly.
to be like it's not going to tank your career kind of thing.
Yeah. I'm going to be quoting a lot from a video essayist on YouTube, and
Okay,
I do want to credit. This is Matt Baum, Matt with 2 T's and Baum is Baume.
I'll link to this video
Yes,
in the description
the video will
of
be
the
in the
episode.
description.
So if you want to watch it, it'll be in there.
Yes. But Matt Baum talked about how this was one of Hugo Weaving's first acting roles. He was an unknown, and that's part of the reason why he took the role.
Mm-hmm.
And then Terrence Stamp, he took the role because I think he was in either his 50s or 60s at this time.
Mm-hmm.
And so he'd had quite a long career, and he said that he wanted to challenge himself in this role. And I don't know anything about Guy Pearce's...
he was a young up-and-coming actor, and I think he was like, yeah, I'll do that, sure.
Fuck it,
He
why
just
not?
seems like a guy who's always down to do stuff,
Yeah, and he's arguably like one of the best and worst parts of this movie. Like best in the sense that
I agree.
he brings this chaotic energy that greatly reminds me of somebody that I know in my personal life. Even when I first saw this movie, I was like, holy shit, Guy Pearce is this friend of mine,
Yeah.
and you know exactly who I'm talking about.
I do. That's, yeah.
So it's very funny. What's up?
I think if I had to pick my favorite performance of the three of them, it's Terrence Stamp.
Oh, of course.
Especially because for the time, it is an incredibly dignified performance.
Well, and that's another thing that I really liked about this film is because this is an original idea, if I'm not mistaken. It has since become a play that plays in Sydney and whatnot. But originally, this was a original idea, right? And this is coming from a closeted man who obviously knew these people,
This culture,
exactly.
It was not foreign to him at all.
And you can kind of see the different, I wouldn't say stages, but like the different gay people of their time period, right? Because Guy Pearce's character, is it Adam?
Adam, yeah.
Is his,
he's a young, inexperienced drag queen,
Exactly.
whereas Hugo Weaving is his character of, oh my God.
Tick is,
Thank you. I can
think-
never remember his nickname that they call him
Yeah,
because it's
Tick.
so weird, but
Yeah.
it's Tick. And he is he's established, but not aged or anything.
right.
Whereas Bernadette has been around for
forever.
years.
And so
Yeah.
you can see whenever she performs, it is there's a stoic look on her face. She's very professional, practiced, tight because she's been doing it for so long.
Right.
And we'll get into her background as a performer. But the difference between Adam and Tick is so reflective of how they grew up in Sydney during different periods of time, because this is obviously set in the 90s, and what happened, what was a big thing in the 70s and 80s? It was the AIDS crisis, right? And where Adam is young and still getting established in this world and very chaotic, very likes to push people's buttons because it's fun, Tick, Hugo Weaving's character, is open to who they are, but is also reserved and almost kind of embarrassed to be a gay person, openly, and that comes
kind of feels uncomfortable in his skin.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and it feels like these are just the different people that the director has seen over his lifetime. Stephen Elliott has seen over his lifetime.
Right.
It was really cool that he captured these characters and made them feel really whole and a part of periods of time. It was cool. This movie fucking rules, and I know we haven't even really gotten into the plot or anything.
I know we haven't really gotten into the meat yet,
but fuck, dude, it's something that I just wanted to discuss. Is I was thinking about it as I was watching the film towards the very end, when I guess one of the three characters' movie conflict comes up.
Well, the premise, if you haven't picked it up, two drag performers and a transgender woman travel across the desert to perform their unique style of cabaret. Now, like we said, the film doesn't star actual non-cishet people, but it was written and directed by one. And you can't say the same for Tangerine, the most previous film that we wrote.
Correct.
Covered. We didn't write this.
Yeah, we wrote Tangerine. I would like to get my
Surprise.
dividends now.
Yeah. WGA, come at us, please.
Yeah.
Like, let us get in. We want health insurance. And so I find that fascinating. And also, for the film being 31 years old now, it has aged remarkably well. We will talk about
for the most part,
the things in it that have not.
Mhm.
But they are very minor. They're easy to overlook, honestly.
Yeah.
Because they're only a small part of the film.
Mhm.
And honestly, I was continually shocked. And a lot of the reviews on Letterboxd also reflect this, that for a film from 1994 about these issues, shockingly progressive, has aged very well for about 90% of it.
Not only progressive, but like, I would say even bold,
Yes.
to
It is not a quaint, like, Hollywood melodrama that's there to win Academy Awards by a more conservative audience
Mhm.
that is, going to cater to both a Midwestern audience and a, coastal elite kind of thing.
Right.
No, it is a flamboyant, in your face, like, these are motherfucking drag queens.
That's right.
Like, unabashedly
Mhm.
from beginning to end. Like, it opens with a number, it ends with a number,
Yes.
and there are many numbers in between.
And it's very dignified too.
Yes.
It's a good movie.
Even with the trans issues that it deals with, like, it doesn't really get into the nitty gritty, but Bernadette is such a dignified and like, honestly, it felt like a good depiction.
Mhm.
And shockingly so for a film from 1994.
Once again.
Because, oh boy, is Ace Ventura the same year?
Oh, let me go check.
I'm pretty sure Ace Ventura
Right. I forgot about that.
is the same year.
Yeah,
and, if you're not aware, the spoilers,
it's from the same year.
the villain, I knew it. The villain of Ace Ventura is a trans person, and she is treated as the most disgusting thing you can imagine.
Yeah.
It is so horrid.
This is the same 90s that produced Austin Powers and shit like that too.
That also has a trans panic thing in it, doesn't it?
Mhm.
Oh boy.
Whereas that was played off as jokes, this movie takes it as a very serious
While
situation,
being a comedy,
yes.
does not make that the butt of the joke. Although you could argue Adam keeps doing it, but the point of Adam's character is that he's an asshole.
Yes. And he likes to get a rise out of people.
Right.
And he thinks he's invincible.
And Bernadette hates his guts for
Yeah.
so much of the film.
Because this is a person that has had to live this life, and it's not a joke.
Right.
And
it's frustrating that Adam, as a character, can't respect that more too, being a gay man and a drag queen, but I digress. Let's not get lost in the weeds just yet.
Yeah, not yet.
So the budget, $1.3 million.
Oh, that's tight. Good shit.
Do you want to guess what it grossed internationally?
Okay, so I know this was a hit in Australia. Like this,
Mhm.
this changed a couple of towns in Australia.
Yes.
Let's go. I'm sorry. I know I did it.
I know, but it's like,
I'm just
do you
trying to
realize,
think.
like, do you think
No.
about it now that you're doing it?
No, I don't think about it. And once it happens, I think about it. Let's go 45 mil.
No, you're overshooting it a little bit.
Damn it! Don't do that. It's 20.
29.
Oh, okay.
$29 million. Yep.
That's good. That's really good.
It was really good. Yeah. It was obviously a much bigger hit in Australia than
Of course.
internationally, but it did really make the waves here in America too.
Mhm.
A lot of American film critics were like, go see this movie. It's on the indie festival circuit. Like, go check it out. I was reading reviews from 1994 being
Right on.
like, wow, this movie,
Yeah.
we will probably invoke this a few times. So let's go ahead and get it out of the way.
What's that?
Tu Wong Fu. What's the full title? It also has an incredibly long title.
Tu Wong Fu to Something with Love, because it's the quote of the movie is a signature on a
I've got
headshot.
Tu Wong Fu, thanks for everything.
Thanks for
Julie
everything.
Newmar.
Sorry, there it is. Yes, thanks for everything. I'm sorry,
Julie Newmar.
Julie Newmar.
That's also
right.
part of the title.
Yes, because they talk about, because you haven't seen it, right? You haven't seen.
I have not seen it.
That's right.
No, yeah.
So, they talk about how there's a picture, headshot of a starlet with that written on it, and it was the prized.
Is it Julie Newmar? She's a real person.
Okay, so
I know she's in the movie too.
this is a picture that they steal out of the restaurant.
Oh, okay.
That's
It's
what
like a
it was.
headshot of Julie Newmar that they
Yeah.
steal. Okay,
Yes,
okay.
I believe that's what it is. Either way, it's the prized possession of one of the
Alex, don't
characters.
write in and correct that.
Even if he does, it would be funny just to read it. Because I would love it to be like 6 paragraphs, like how we fucked this up so hard. I haven't seen Tu Wong Fu since, no shit, dude. I watched this and Tu Wong Fu within a couple of days of each other because of fucking Michael Blackman.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we did like a gay day.
Yeah,
and then we watched a bunch of gay movies.
That I can understand that being whiplash. So for the listener, if you've not seen Tu Wong Fu, an American movie that came out about a year later after this film, has an incredibly similar plot. To the point where a lot of film critics were like, did the studio just rip this off from an indie hit in Australia?
Yeah.
And that was everyone's assumption at the time. Now, they were being made simultaneously is the thing. And I think I was reading that the producers on Priscilla had heard about it and got a hold of the script just to flip through it, because they were worried, and they were like, "Oh no, there's enough differences here," and then they let it go.
It is a very different movie,
yeah, and it's one of those things where, and this happened way more before the internet, but studios would just sometimes there would just be something in the air, something in the zeitgeist, and they would just. 2 studios would make very similar movies very close to each other.
A Bug's Life and Ants.
That's the one I always go to.
Yeah,
because I remember thinking about it when I was like 9 or 10 when it happened, and being like. This is really weird. Why are there so many ant movies coming out? They are wildly different.
Yes, they are.
One is like trying to be Woody Allen for kids, and one is Seven Samurai for kids. Can you figure out which one's which?
No, I know which one's Seven Samurai, but I don't know about the Woody Allen. I haven't seen I don't watch
He's literally
Woody Allen.
meant to be Woody Allen.
Is he really?
Okay. Yeah. That's the whole thing.
It felt like there was more to it than that. Like there was more of a message to it than that. But
and the message is. When you zoom out a little bit, isn't that far from Seven Samurai?
Yeah.
But it's because they're ants, too. Yeah. And that's the thing, is like they're a colony. Anyway, what are we doing? What are we talking about? What are we doing?
No, you're absolutely right. A while ago, back in the 90s,
this happened.
This happened a lot.
Yeah. And you can go back way further, way further for decades and just see, or it keeps happening, And it's like, it wasn't, maybe one studio got word that like, hey, they're making a movie about like, these themes, and they're like, well, let's put one in production, let's find a script similar to that and get it made. And then they come out within like a year of each other, sometimes less, and it's not because they're ripping it off, it's just happenstance kind of thing, or it's like, oh, this like sci-fi is going to be really hot next year, let's get a bunch of sci-fi movies in production,
right?
Ant movies, animated ant movies are going to be
we got to do it. Well, I'm not going to get into it, but Alex, you can write in on this one too. There is a famous rumor that because Jeffrey Katzenberg got fired from Disney, he knew about the Bug's Life movie, and when he went over to DreamWorks, he was like, "We got to do a fucking ant movie." Oh, that's the fun rumor. I don't know if there's legitimacy to that one, but
yeah.
I would like to believe that there is. But if you watch Tu Wong Fu and Priscilla, they are completely different films. And as I was telling you before we started recording, that the concept of inner city gays go to a rural town and, things are turned on top of their
homophobia and stuff.
Yeah, like, of course, it writes itself. Like, of course, that's like the fucking thing that
and
you
not
do.
that foreign of a concept.
No, it's not.
Having a fish out of water story for, a minority group, is how to depict it to general audiences anyway, kind of thing. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. So critical response, Priscilla, Queen of the Desert has a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. Film critic David Stratton of Variety gave Priscilla a positive review, writing in 1994. Priscilla is a cheerfully vulgar and bitchy, but essentially warm-hearted road movie with a difference, which boasts an amazing star turn by Terrence Stamp. Stephen Elliott's second feature is a lot of fun and should appeal to tolerant audiences everywhere. That last sentence is the most dated sentence to me.
Yeah.
And then in his review of Priscilla for the Chicago Sun-Times, Roger Ebert gave the film 2.5 out of 4 stars.
No, Roger.
Writing, "It's too bad that the requirements of plotting require movies like this to crank up the event count, when actually what works is just the daily minutia of Bernadette's life." I think he makes a great point. The strongest parts of this movie are Bernadette, but he was hard on it. Yeah.
I don't think that is. I understand what he's saying. And to a lesser extent, I could agree with that. But that is not the point of the film. And that is not the story that Stephen was trying to tell. And I think it does a better service to the film and the commentary on gay culture by having the three of them in different stages of their life and having those being a reflection of.
Oh yeah.
I don't.
I think what he's getting at, though, is the actual plot itself feels meaningless. And I will say that seemed to be a commonality between reviewers from what I was, scrolling through, is everything else about this movie is great, but the actual plot feels so secondary and pointless and like getting in the way of what's actually interesting. Like you want to see them interacting with each other, having conversations and learning and growing or dealing with adversity and things. But not the like, oh, we've got to keep this bus going. We got to get to this town. We got to do these shows.
You don't think that the inciting event to get them into that stupid fucking bus to go to, what was it?
Alice Springs.
It is like enough to have everything else happen. Like it's
it just
a road
isn't.
trip movie.
It just isn't interesting. Is
Sure,
the thing.
okay.
I would rather it be, and I think the critics are making this point too.
Mhm.
I'd rather it just be a day in the life and have it like just follow these people closely as things are happening.
Yeah, but they all live in Sydney, and like they're apparently in the 90s. Well, even before the 90s, there was a small gay enclave in Sydney that was pretty insulated. Obviously there were hate crimes. Like apparently it was 4 gay men every year would get murdered by for gay hate crimes back in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
And even the AIDS epidemic hit that specific enclave very hard. But I think that would, and I've never been to Sydney. I want to go. I love Australia.
Oh, if I were to go to Australia, that's the city I'd go to.
Yeah.
Especially because The Matrix was shot there.
Oh, word? That's tight.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Australia. I love the wildlife of Australia. I love the people. I love the history for the most part. Mostly the 1900s onwards. But I mean, I can tell you about it later. But anyways, and so like I don't know what life was like during that time. And I can only imagine that it's not nearly as exciting as going to rural Australia. I mean, like Australia's fucking huge. Most people want to fly over the country instead of driving through it. Driving through it is like
it's like the Midwest
horrendous.
of America.
Yeah, it's long. It's no, it's longer. It's not.
No, I know, but it's in the way that it's like the flyover states is how they refer to them.
Yes. So I think that you get more interesting things happening. Like fuck, the first people second people that they run into are the indigenous people of Australia, and I'm almost positive that what's his name, Stephen Elliott, put them in the film as a reference to the Tiwi tribe of people that live in the Tiwi Islands, who either were the first or have the largest transgendered community on planet Earth living there, and that's like a normal thing for them. It's not like they're not seen as outcasts. They're not seen as otherized people or minorities to be looked down upon. They're just everyday people. Like I could only dream of our society being like that and whatnot. And so like you wouldn't have things like that in this film if it wasn't for them driving across Australia.
Yeah.
So that's my argument. I understand what Roger's saying, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say that he didn't know any of that shit in the 90s. So fuck you.
I think Roger Ebert had gay friends for sure.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I think Roger Ebert was totally big in the gay community,
but not in Australia. This is like almost a double foreign thing to him because it's like people that he knows, but he's not a part of that community. And then it's Australian. It's an Australian movie.
Well, I would counter that. Like I think you mentioned if it was a day in the life just in Sydney, that wouldn't be interesting. I think it would be. In fact, that's kind of what The Birdcage is. It's about a gay enclave in Miami, and it's wonderful. Like so much of I love The Birdcage.
No, I love The Birdcage too. No. Don't laugh and think of like, oh, Will doesn't like camp,
that
so he
scene
doesn't like
where
The Birdcage. Because I do.
Where it's Nathan Lane, right? He's okay.
Yeah,
when
Timon.
Nathan Lane, when he leaves the apartment and goes shopping and is like walking down the street and saying hi to everybody that he knows and like pops into the shops where he knows the owners and he's like, oh, well, my son's parents are coming into town or no, my son's girlfriend's parents are coming into town or whatever. And he's like, I got to prepare cooking, and he's just having like such a wonderful day. It's so cool. And it's like a very openly like gay city with like pride stuff everywhere. Everyone's very cool with it,
Yeah.
It's such a good scene. And then it's and when it switches to it's
Robin
Gene
Williams.
Hackman, right? He's the dad.
fuck, dude, I can't.
Well, when it switches to their little like suburban enclave, and it's just like completely tight knit, and everyone's really weird and uptight. You know,
I want to say it's been 8 years since I've watched The Birdcage.
Yeah,
we watched it every so often. I've seen it like 4 times, but I don't remember the actors other than Robin Williams and Nathan Lane.
Yeah.
Okay, so I understand. I get that. I guess I don't find Florida nearly as fun to drive across because I do it all the time.
Oh, I agree.
So
miserable thing to make a road trip movie about.
And like as a person who has always
would have similar experiences as the people in this film. In fact, I think
probably
because we have a friend who was it North Florida where he went to a gas station and he's Asian and he's like things got a little weird in there and I had to go.
Yeah. What I was going to say is I'm not nearly as interested in seeing an American movie because I live in America and people traveling through it as I am seeing people travel through Australia because it is foreign to me. So I don't know. Different strokes for different folks. I'm going to say Roger Ebert, you're my enemy now. Fuck you. Also, he's dead, right?
Long dead.
He's been dead.
He also was strongly of the opinion that video games are not art. And are
fuck him.
Yeah,
I don't give a fuck about his
famously had made enemies of the gamer community his whole life.
So fucking funny. That's so funny. He's been spot on some of the reviews that you've told me about, like very spot on.
That's what I think is so great about him too, is like you're never going to agree with him 100% of the time because sometimes he makes a left swing and you're like, what
the fuck? Yeah.
But he can make good points too, you know, and it's like, well, I can see how you got there, but like you are being way too critical about this one. You're nitpicking way too much kind of thing, you know? Yeah. But he's a fun guy to do that with, you know,
clearly
he had a lot of opinions. Not all of them great, you know.
Video games aren't art. Fuck off.
Also
dude.
An incredibly horny man.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Which I respect the older I get, like, and he'll just be open. I don't have the quote in front of me, but he's just openly like, I love big breasts. Like there's nothing better to me than just big breasts, you know? And he's just very clear about it and upfront, you know? And it's like, I respect it. You know what I mean? Like, live your truth.
I'm trying so hard not to blow out the fucking mic. That is so goddamn funny. I did not know that about him.
Meanwhile, over on Letterboxd,
let's get it.
User Victoria gave the film 3.5 stars and wrote, Priscilla was the bus, is the gay, Frankenstein was the doctor.
That's great. I've never actually had to have that argument with anybody. Thank God. Because I know like a handful of fucking people that's seen it.
But they probably know that Priscilla was the bus.
100%.
Not everyone thinks it's Hugo Weaving's character, apparently.
No.
Okay.
She's like Mitzi, I believe, is the drag name.
I didn't remember any of their drag names, so I didn't put it in my
One's Eliza,
document.
One's Mitzi, and one's obviously Bernadette. And
Bernadette
I believe Eliza is Guy Pearce. Mitzi is Hugo Weaving.
That sounds right to me, but we'll never know for sure.
I have IMDb. Shut up. Oh no, they don't have the drag names. Oh,
see,
fuck.
yeah, that too. Yeah. All right, so
no, Hugo Weaving is Mitzi. I got it.
All right. Summary of this movie. Let's run through it. So we have Anthony Tick Belrose, who is Hugo Weaving. He is a drag queen based out of Sydney, Australia. And he receives an offer one day to perform a drag show for several weeks at a casino in Alice Springs, a town in Australia that I know.
How do you know?
Because of the meal I always get at Outback Steakhouse. It's called Alice Springs.
Oh, you're kidding me. I did not know that. I
so
never paid attention to the names of the food.
When he said the name of the town, I was like, why do I know that? And it's supposed to be like a remote town. And I was like, what? And I was like, oh, and it clicked in this room that it's the menu item I always get at Outback Steakhouse. Because it's
so funny.
It's like the healthiest thing they got. It's like a grilled chicken breast with like beans and mashed potatoes.
Oh, yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Most people fly out there. That's the big thing. Like, it's expensive.
Oh, is there like a good terminal to change out of there?
Yeah. People usually don't drive across Australia.
That's how you get Wolf Creeked.
Is that how, like, what,
did you ever see that?
No, I haven't seen that.
Horror movie about a slasher guy that lives in like the remote Australian wilderness, you know, and
dude, that happened though.
Oh, I know.
There was a
no, I know.
Yeah, serial killer that was living in remote areas.
Yeah, it's the Australian Chainsaw Massacre, if you will. You know,
tight. I'll have to check that out. I didn't know that existed.
I don't remember it being good, but it came out when we were in high school.
Never mind.
My girlfriend at the time, I remember watching it with her. So Tick gets invited to run this drag show for several weeks at a casino. in the middle of Australia. And like the middle of Australia, think of it as the Midwest of America. You know, it's just remote, full of desert, lots of nothing, and small towns.
Although the casino's really nice.
Yeah, when they get there, it is super nice. Yeah. Now, for the show, Tick recruits a young and flamboyant and antagonistic fellow drag queen named Adam Wiley, played by Guy Pearce.
It's Felicia is the drag name.
Oh, that's right, because they're always saying Felicia to him.
Yeah.
As well as an older trans friend named Bernadette Basinger. Basinger? Basinger. And her husband has just died. Trumpet was his name. There is a deleted scene where they explain his name, but it's some Australian cookie or something.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh, dude, tell me.
It's not something we would have gotten.
That's like what I'm very interested in knowing what that is. But it's just a cookie. Great.
I was like, I glazed over it, and I was like, oh, okay, it's like an Australian in joke, you know, about some product that they have.
Okay.
But she's not that upset about it, which is a weird take. But it's because they hadn't been married long. He was only 25. Whereas she is in her 50s or 60s, something like that. She's always making reference to how she's older and been around the block for a while. So evidently they weren't together long. And I think later she even says like, well, he married me because of the novelty of me being trans, I think. So it's, you know, it's a little bittersweet about it.
Do you think it's like really crazy that 3 years later, Bernadette would go on to be having a vote of no confidence in the Galactic Senate by the Naboo senator?
Oh, that's right. Okay, I did see the Terrence Stamp was in the Phantom Menace.
He's Chancellor Valorum.
Who is that now? Remind me who that is.
Chancellor Valorum?
Again,
he was the head of the Galactic Senate.
Oh, okay. So he's got one of the floating.
Yeah, he's in the center.
You know,
he's in the center, and what you call it? Like him and Palpatine are chill, and then Palpatine, when he's gone, is like, "Yo, we need to do a vote of no confidence so that we can get him out, and then put me in."
That's what makes him democracy.
And that's how we'll get rid of the Trade Federation blockade.
God,
Star Wars politics, baby. I know them all now.
I think Terrence Stamp was the most prestigious actor in this movie at the time.
Yeah.
And now I think everyone recognizes Hugo Weaving and Guy Pearce, you know, because they went on to have huge careers after this, which is very cool.
More Hugo than Guy Pearce, I think. I see him more often. He was Elrond, dude. He's the Red Skull. He was Miss Agent Smith.
I was just going to say, Agent Smith is the one for me, obviously.
It's the one, yeah.
But like,
it's Elrond.
He's not that prolific. He's in big franchises, yes. But I almost think, you know, that'd be really curious. Would more people recognize Guy Pearce or Hugo Weaving? Because Guy Pearce is Memento.
That's it.
And Iron Man 3.
Nobody cares about that one.
And Prometheus.
That's a bad movie.
Yeah, but a lot of people saw it, and it has its merits. It has its merits.
Sure,
okay. Also, the scene where he's not caked in 1,000 layers of makeup was cut from the movie.
Yeah. Good God.
He plays, for the listener, the old man. Is it Wutani is his name?
Yeah.
Wayland Yutani,
no,
right?
Yutani
no, that's the name
is
of the company.
Business partner. He's something Wayland.
Before it got bought out by the other company, he's Wayland.
Yeah.
But it's Guy Pearce covered in like
old age
100 years old makeup.
Bad.
Yeah. But he did a fake TED Talk to promote the movie where he's playing Wayland, like talking about why they need to go to space and find their ancestors and shit. It's so crazy. That thing was like 20 minutes long. I watched that shit being like, I'm pumped for Prometheus, you know?
Good Lord. Back when TED Talks were like really prolific.
Oh yeah, they were like the hottest shit. And then you found out that anybody, well, TEDx specifically, anybody could do a TEDx talk. You just had to have enough money, basically. And then that's how a very shitty fascist sympathizer guy did one. So
we're in the first.
I left the summary a long time ago.
The first 5 minutes.
Yeah, who's more famous, Guy Pearce or Hugo Weaving?
It's Hugo Weaving.
It's probably Hugo Weaving, but because of like Lord of the Rings and The Matrix, I think are the two things. Also, but like you didn't even know he was V.
Yeah, you're right.
I remember telling you, like, it's Hugo Weaving. Like, you're like, what?
Yeah, I didn't fucking look up the IMDb. I was shocked.
Now, for their trip,
yes,
Adam convinces his mother, who I guess is implied as wealthy, to purchase a bus that the trio retrofit for their trip. And he christens it Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
That's right. He bought it from some Swedish guys named Lars, and Lars.
I forgot about that. Yeah, that's right. Now,
Adam wants to go with him because Adam has always wanted to climb a very famous mountain.
Canyon.
Sorry.
Yep.
In
drag, full regalia.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's right.
Now, Adam and Bernadette often clash aboard the bus
Mhm.
because Adam's a pain in the ass.
A douchebag.
Real douche. Yeah. Also, Adam keeps dead naming her. I don't know if we said that on pod yet, but Adam keeps dead naming her.
You said
a lot.
Yeah, you said he does it like 6 times.
At minimum.
And
it's also the last thing he says to her at the end of the movie.
Which like shocks me because I did not remember that at all, because like Adam gets his ass fucking beat because
oh, hey,
I know, but I'm just like, why would you run the risk of pissing off a person who's not only kicked your ass but kicks the ass of a person who just got done hate criming
and
you?
like saved your life, basically. Yeah. Oh,
asshole.
God, I know. So while they clash on the bus a lot, and eventually Tick reveals that the offer to perform came from his estranged wife.
That's right. And that gets Adam in a fucking tizzy because he's like,
much to the bemusement of the other two, as they have only ever known Tick as a gay man. They are constantly teasing him.
They're teasing each other. They're all being all so shitty to each other.
Catty.
It's very funny.
My wife watching this with me was like, the hair's so catty. I love this.
Yeah.
The trio make a stop in Broken Hill.
There we go. That's the one that I was trying to remember the name of. This is a real specific place.
This movie shot on location, I think, for every scene. So like if they're in a town that they name, like Alice Springs, Broken Hill, Sydney, they're actually there shooting on location.
And I think Colby Ebb.
Oh yeah,
is the next town after
I have it later, but that town has a Coober Petty.
There it is.
That's the one where they get hate crime.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, technically this one too.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's a small town where they cause a sensation on the streets while they head to their hotel dressed fully in drag, mainly because Tick lost a bet or a card game.
Yeah.
They visit a bar that night and are met with some resistance, but it feels like they ultimately win. They win the crowd over because Bernadette outdrinks this real hard ass lady that doesn't like her.
Well, it's not even just that, but before that, Bernadette says some pretty nasty things to her, and the whole crowd's like, "Oh, this person can fucking throw down." Let's
right. And so they seem to accept them.
Yes.
But then the next morning they wake up and their bus has been vandalized with offensive graffiti.
Something like "Go home."
I have it here. Should I read it?
Well, so it's I believe, Jared, it is indicative of the times.
It definitely is.
This was I remember learning in a bunch of the.
It's something that like I see people say this on social media all the time, but it's like gay people, gay kids growing up now don't know what it was like.
Yeah,
because a lot of like Christian people at the time that were bigoted saw this as God's curse.
That's right.
And we're talking about AIDS.
Yeah, we're talking about AIDS,
is what we're going to get into here.
I was going to say, like, I remember growing up in the 90s and my first ever sex ed class, they talked about STDs and that was one of them.
That's the thing. Yeah. When we were in elementary school, it was still, we were kind of coming out of the era and it was like ingrained in us that like, watch out for AIDS. Don't touch people that are bleeding and all this needles and all this stuff.
Don't do blood brother pacts with your friends and shit. Like it was very scary. Like, fuck, I can get this disease that's going to kill me.
Yeah. They put the fear of God in you about this thing.
Yeah.
It was such a weird time.
And so like, that's a very negative thing. And also, you glaze over just a little bit, but this was where Adam dead names Bernadette in that crowd and
right.
receives the wrath.
Yeah. Yeah. Their bus, someone spray paints AIDS effers go home.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I'll say fuck on this podcast, but in that context, it just doesn't feel good. So
I know, I understand. But this is just indicative of the time.
Yeah. And obviously they're completely dejected. It's horrible, and so they leave the town.
This also gives you a little bit of insight to Adam's character towards the end of the film, because there's a lot that Adam deals with as far as like bigotry and hatred throughout this film that makes him very shields up towards the end.
Yeah.
And there's like a specific interaction that I want to talk about when we get there.
Yeah.
But this is just like the first step on a long road of
sign of them dealing with
we're not in Sydney anymore, maybe.
Such. Right. Also, I think I went past the scene, but when they're on the bus during this trip, I think it was this time, Adam is filling them. I think they ask Adam, like, why are you such a prick, basically? And Adam talks about and we get a flashback scene of him as a child.
Yeah.
Like a small child.
In a very nice bathroom. You were like, I think his mom's got money. Yeah, this is the house.
That's
and
right.
The bathroom's like
that
really fucking nice.
That clued you in too. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, his uncle is in a bathtub and he walks by the bathroom and then the uncle lures him in basically and tries to get him to touch him. And I was cringing really hard watching this because I was thinking, oh no, like, is the movie going to insinuate that? And this is a trope, is why I feared this, but
he
like
was
he's
abused,
gay because he was abused.
Gay,
yeah, exactly. And I was like, oh no,
It had been so long since I've seen this. It has been 15 years since I've seen this movie.
Damn.
Yeah, it's been a while because I saw this, I think, before I was 21.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, fuck. They're really going to do this? Like,
yeah, I was really
offensive.
bracing myself, being like, oh shit, I thought this movie was going to be, this movie was like surprising me so
You're about to text me again?
No, I wasn't going to do that in the middle of it, but I was going to be like, oh, we're going to have to talk about how like this is a bad trope, but no, it subverts your expectation about it because it's definitely leaning in on you thinking
100%.
That's going to be why.
Yeah.
And it's instead of actually reaching into the tub to like do what his uncle wants him to do, he ends up pulling the drain and his uncle's balls get stuck in the drain and he's like injured and he's like, go get help. And he's like, no.
He's stuck there for several hours.
Yeah. And then it cuts back to him telling the story and they're all just having a great laugh about it, about how like he fucked with his uncle who was trying to abuse him. Mm-hmm. So it's very pleasant that it subverts your expectations about that trope and everything. And it's like, and I definitely sighed in relief, like, oh, thank God.
Yeah. I remember laughing and being like, oh yeah, I forgot about this.
Yeah. So honestly, a great turn.
Mm-hmm.
But that didn't make my summary because it's like such a small thing, but like it was, oh man. Anyway, as they're driving, they decide to take a shortcut through the desert. And because Tick sees it on the map and is convinced it's going to save them like 2 days worth of time.
Mm-hmm.
However, the bus breaks down. Priscilla, diva down.
Diva down.
They are miles from civilization. And so Adam decides to take this opportunity to just paint the entire bus to get rid of the vandalism. Mm-hmm. Adam paints the entire bus a shade of lavender.
There we go. Thank you. Lavender.
Not purple.
Not purple.
Tick decides to go and practice his routines because he's getting nervous and he wants to be, ready to go. Mm-hmm. And Bernadette says, I'm walking away. I'm going to go bring the cat for you. And so Bernadette just walks like in a straight line away from them. And Bernadette eventually finds a cishet couple driving a Jeep and waves them down, gets a ride back to the bus and is like, hey, our bus broke down. Like, can you help my friends out? The cishet couple sees that they're drag queens basically because I think they're all wearing like pretty well. Tick is definitely
full drag in
full
like
drag
a
except
green
neck down.
That's
only.
right. That's right.
No makeup, no wig.
Yeah,
which I thought was odd because I was like, why wouldn't you put on the wig? I feel like the wig is more important than the dress
because it does weigh on your neck. Yeah,
because I see Trixie and Mattel in wig more than dress.
This is true.
You know what I mean? Like,
this is true.
I know that's my point of reference.
Yeah,
for drag queens, but like that's most people's point of reference now, I think too, or RuPaul even. But yeah. Anyway, put a pin in that.
It's the 90s.
I'm going to circle back.
Okay, that's fine.
RuPaul was in Tu Wong the following year.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. She was the character Rachel Tension.
Why do you know that? Oh, wait. That's awesome. That's an awesome name.
Yeah, I know. That's why I know it. Because
that's like
it stung in my brain. I've only ever seen Tu Wong Fu once.
That's like the big race in Fast and Furious 1 being called Race Wars.
Yeah. Race Wars. Yeah. That's why it's been seared in my fucking brain.
That's really good.
When I'm 89 on my fucking deathbed, I'm going to be like, yeah, Rachel Tension is so fucking good.
That's honestly A++.
That's very good. Anyways.
Okay.
Keep going. I didn't mean to kill you. Jesus Christ.
That was so good. Okay.
You gotta watch Tu Wong Fu, dude.
I think I do now. Yeah. Knowing that like one of my favorite actors is in it too. Okay. Oh my God. So the cishet couple sees them and decides
they just blitz off
and they just peel out and drive away. But at least Bernadette got reunited because she was really running out of steam out there in the desert. Mm-hmm. And then that night they're practicing their routine in front of the bus, in a campfire because they got nothing else to do, and are startled by an Aboriginal man who is like enthralled with them and says, "Hey, come hang out at the campfire. Yeah. Like there's a bunch of us hanging out. Just come sit with us and we'll take you to go get a mechanic the next morning." It's a wonderful scene.
It's one of the only times they're accepted.
Yeah. No, No. While they're out in remote regions, yes.
Yes.
And they are brought to this big campsite, I guess, where there's a bunch of Aboriginals having like a big bonfire,
Yeah, just
I
a
guess,
party,
and just hanging out,
Yeah.
playing music. There's
Exactly.
kids laughing and running around all over the place,
Mhm.
which is always a nice thing to hear, as like background sound, especially as a parent now. Like I want to hear kids yelling and running around and having fun and laughing with each other, because that always screams like, safety to me, and I'm like, oh, like things are good here kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, and the trio seem a little on edge at first.
Of course, because they just got hate crimed.
Right. And they came upon these people in the middle of the desert. So I think they're a little apprehensive.
Mhm.
But they see the guys playing guitar and they're like, hey, would you like us to perform?
Yes.
And they do a big performance. Everyone loves it. They even drag the guy that found them.
Yeah. And they dress
at the
him up
bus.
and
They get
put in
him
drag, and
involved. They
he's all
get him in
about it.
drag and he's
Yeah.
having a ball. It's
Mhm.
it's great. It's a wonderful
What was
time.
the song? What was the song that they were
God,
doing?
was that when they did
Because I like that
one of the songs I actually knew?
Yeah, it was one of the ones.
Was it First I Was Afraid, I Was Petrified? What is that
Yeah,
song?
it
Was it that one?
It was that
Yeah.
song, yeah.
That's not making the cut.
No, leave it in.
We'll get to it,
Mhm.
but I had never heard it before.
What's
But that Finally song is so good.
It happens. You've never heard that song?
No.
I've got a story about that
It
song.
rules.
I have a story about that song.
I haven't been able to get it out of my head all day.
It's so good. It's so fucking good. Yeah.
I've been singing to the Courtney all day.
You've never heard that fucking song?
No.
Dog.
It was great. I should have waited till we got to it. God, this is staying in though.
Oh, okay. So, real quick, side tangent.
Yeah.
So me and Haley sing that to each other every so often, but we
I
changed
see why.
the-
It's amazing.
Me and Haley will sing, finally it's happened to me, and then we'll stop and replace the lyrics with something else because
Right.
I actually have no idea what they're saying.
Yeah.
And when we found out that Haley was pregnant, we were like, finally it's happened to me. I have a baby and I'm gonna be excited, something like that.
Yeah.
And so like that song, that's something that me and Haley
I love that.
sing to each other.
It's a banger.
It's so good. It's so fucking
great.
good.
Yeah. Anyway, we really jumped the gun. We gotta
did.
get back into that when we get there.
Well, I mean, there's a lot to say about the final sequence of the movie, so we'll talk more about it.
Okay, so they performed for the Aboriginal campfire.
Mhm.
Had a great time. The next morning, those guys take them to get a tow truck for the Priscilla, the bus, and then they find a mechanic in a small town nearby. His name is Bob.
What is that town's name? That's not.
I don't remember.
Okay,
I don't have it in front of me.
it's okay.
They don't spend a ton of time there.
No, they don't. But yeah, Bob.
Bob welcomes. He's very warm. He welcomes them to come have dinner with him that night, and they meet his Filipino wife,
Mhm.
Cynthia.
Mhm.
Now, we need to address this right here and now. This is the part that has aged the worst in this movie.
Correct.
It's bad.
Correct. I will say this, though, after we're done talking about who she is, what she represents, and all that other shit.
Yeah.
There is in the attached video. Whoops, I hit the thing. The attached video.
Oh,
by
that you referenced
Matthew
earlier.
Baum.
Yeah.
So it's funny. He brings up the same thing. He's like, hey, this part, not a great depiction of people. However, he did reach out to other gay Filipinos that he knows and asked them about the exact same scene and whatnot. And they're like, yes, it is a problematic depiction of those people, but it is also a real thing. This is, how do they shape it? This is something that did happen. There were Australian servicemen who did bring back Filipino wives.
It is a trope.
Yes.
And this movie helped further solidify it too, because the South Park movie ended up taking this exact beat
Oh, from this movie
of what
film?
she does at the bar later.
Oh, no shit. From this
And-
film?
Yeah, that's how
right
most
on.
people know about this act,
Gotcha.
is
Oh, okay.
what she does with the ping pong balls at the
Right.
bar later.
For some reason, I thought that was from Full Metal Jacket.
No, that's just the
other
I'm
one.
going to
Yeah,
quote it,
no,
but
no,
Me
you don't
Love You
have
Long
to.
Time,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
it got sampled in a Two Live Crew song, which is
Right.
where a lot of people know it from too, if they
Right.
didn't see Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah.
But that's just Vietnamese, sex workers at the time,
Mhm.
in the Vietnam War and such. But
Well, one thing I was going to say though is
Yeah.
when you look at the character of Cynthia, she's also very, how do you say, not okay with her situation. Like, this isn't the grand adventure that she thought it was going to be, and she
her character is extremely erratic.
Yeah. But I mean, like she goes on a journey of self-discovery as well in the film. Like she leaves. She makes a similar road trip situation to find herself. Like in a way,
I think that's a bit of a stretch.
Cynthia emancipates herself. Hey, look, Matt Baum fucking does it way better than me. So how about you go watch that? That
I don't
video.
think, regardless of
It's
what his
played for laughs,
explanation,
I understand.
it's offensive.
Yeah.
And a movie that is surprisingly full of things that aren't.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why it really misses the beat on that. You know,
I understand.
Let's just get through it. Okay, so she's clearly excited that they are entertainers. You know,
She's an entertainer too,
right? And she keeps referencing this fact, and Bob keeps shooting her down because I guess the implication is like that life is behind her. He doesn't want her to do that anymore.
He's embarrassed.
He's embarrassed by it, right?
Yeah. And also, he's the stand-in for the director.
Bob?
Yeah.
No, I think it's Hugo Weaving's character.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe a little of both because like Bob likes drag performers, and Bob does catch the feelings for Bernadette later in the film.
Well, okay, in real life, Stefan much later revealed that he was in a long-term relationship with a gay man.
Okay.
Not a trans person. So
okay. Maybe not. No.
Yeah. Anyway,
continue.
They hit it off with Bob.
Yes.
Bob is like, hey, you should come perform at this bar tonight in town.
Yes, because he asks what they do and Adam point blank
Adam
says,
just like,
we dress up like
I'm going to
women.
drop the bomb. Yeah, we're basically drag performers.
And instead of being repulsed, Bob is like, oh, like lay girls. And
which is a famous Australian cabaret drag troupe that Bernadette
used to be a part of.
And this was a real troupe, by the way.
Oh, okay. No.
I had to Google it. I didn't know.
This is in the Matt Baum's
in the video.
So that's how I knew about it. But like
I had to Google it because I was like, what is this thing they keep referencing? Because it comes up multiple times.
Yeah.
And it was a famous, like it started in the 60s.
Yeah.
But it was a famous long running drag troupe in Australia, right? And but Bob is like, oh yeah, I saw that show like 30 years ago
when I was a kid.
And they were like, oh well, Bernadette was in
part
that.
Of this,
he's like, no kidding. And so he's impressed. But he convinces them to perform a show at a bar that night. Cynthia really wants to go. He says no. The trio goes, does their show, does a big performance.
No one's into it.
Bob's the only one clapping.
He's
very
all
awkward.
About it. Yeah.
And then, but before things get weird in the bar, Cynthia bursts in.
All of the scene before she bursts in with her gear about like her shit's locked up and she fucking rips the.
She's going berserk trying to break it open.
So funny.
And a bunch of ping pong balls spill out.
Yeah, well, that part's not funny. That part's not funny.
Foreshadows what she's going to do. Yeah.
But the freaking out like, oh, I want to perform so bad. And then rips the fucking handles off the.
I will say.
That's pretty funny.
It surprised me in a bit because Bob mentions that she has problems with alcohol. And so then it cuts to her trying to rip open this locked cabinet. My thought that it had a bunch of like liquor in there. And I thought she was going to get drunk. But no, it's where her outfit and ping pong balls are, which she dons, shows up at the bar, dances on the bar, and then starts doing her ping pong show. I'm not going to get into it.
Yeah.
Use your imagination is exactly what you think it was, because it's exactly what I thought it was going to be. Because it's in the South Park movie, which bad, not good. All the guys in the bar are enthralled by this, and then Bob interrupts it by shutting it down, picks her up, and drags her home. She's furious, packs her bags, loads up the car, and leaves him.
And drives to America, where she becomes Rita Repulsa in the Power Rangers movie. The 1993 Power Rangers movie.
But meanwhile, Bob has fixed up Priscilla and finds himself now divorced, I guess, and tells the trio, like, well, would you mind me tagging along? And so he joins them and gets on the bus, and they head out to Alice Springs again. Now, they take him on because as they were leaving, what's that? What are you pointing at? Wait, is she actually Rita Repulsa?
That wasn't a bit.
No.
That wasn't a bit.
Oh, my God.
She was Rita Repulsa
Holy
in the
shit.
1995 Power Rangers, the movie.
Like the first, the movie, not season one?
No, not season one, the movie. It's
damn.
Julie Cortez was born in Sydney, New South Wales, Australia. She's an actress known for The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and then the movie Secrets Revealed. That's it. She's only ever been in two things. Priscilla.
Did you
Power
just
Rangers.
recognize her, or did you just know this from researching?
Thank you, Matthew Baum, for pointing this out.
Fuck off. This fucking guy does one video for research and now he's got
I have
tidbits
everything.
for days.
I have everything. So much information.
That is great, though. But I want to say they take Bob on because he's nothing but a gentleman to them. And
He's been
as
so
they're
nice.
Yeah, and as they're leaving him, not realizing that he's going to ask to join later on, they're telling him, like, you know, you've been nothing but great to us. Thank you so much. You know, and Bernadette is like, you're such a gentleman. Thank you. In a world full of, does she say atoms? You know, thank you for being a gentleman, basically.
Pin in it real quick. Where the intersection of Priscilla and Tu Wong Fu happen, for
like
me in my
diverges,
brain,
or
they where they cross the intersection in my brain is I keep fucking up and thinking that Bob is the abusive husband.
Oh, I see.
In Tu Wong Fu, there's an abusive husband character in Tu Wong Fu, and he's like a little rough with Cynthia, but not like crazy. But every time he grabs her, I'm like, he beats the shit out of her, right? Like that's what he does, and I keep forgetting that's Tu Wong Fu. But like, when you talk about like similarities, there is quite a few, even though one's a comedy and one's more of a serious dramedy. That character crosses over for me, and whenever you watch it, you'll be like, oh, I know exactly what we're talking about.
Okay. But, you know, Priscilla's chugging along, and then they stop in a small mining town that we referenced earlier called Coober Petty.
Coober Petty.
Horrible name to look at and read.
Yeah.
And Bob warns them that the residents there will not be welcoming to them.
It's a really cool town, though. Like, the history behind it's really interesting.
Oh, because it's like a mining town.
Yeah, and like their holes are everywhere, and they go like 30 feet down. You could slip, like people slip and fall and just die all the time.
Yeah.
And they're mining for opals.
Okay.
And then those opals go to New York, and Adam Sandler tries to sell them.
Opals. Yeah, why do I know that? What's that?
It's Uncut Gems. It's the rock. The rock that he has as an opal.
Yeah. All right.
I'm full of information today.
Okay. You completely blindsided me there too.
Can't stop.
So Bob heads off to have a beer with some old friends, he says. Mm-hmm. And then Tick and Bernadette go out to dinner, and they invite Adam, but they're like, if you don't come, you got to stay in the hotel room. You can't go out because like it's not safe, like Bob said.
And nobody puts baby Adam in the closet.
Well, Adam doesn't go. He doesn't want to go out to dinner.
No.
So he stays in the hotel room and then gets up to some shit.
Of course. Always.
He's a little shit.
But
anyway, at dinner, Tick and Bernadette like kind of make amends. They haven't been at each other's throats as much as the other characters have, really, Adam and everyone else really. But I think Bernadette apologizes for teasing him so much about having a wife.
That's right.
It's like, listen, it's going to be fine. Like, I'm sorry for teasing you so much. Like you weren't always who you were. You know what I mean? Like this is not who. Yeah. But as that is happening, Adam sneaks out of the hotel room, gets into full drag, and I guess it's not drag. He is trying to pass.
Yes. Well,
first he goes to a video store and asks to rent the Texas Chainsaw Mascara.
That's right. Yeah,
which is a great line. And then he comes across a group of large men just having some beers in like
minors.
A parking lot or something. They're just hanging out in the open. It's weird. I don't know what
this is what, to be honest with you, there
straight men that aren't us do. You just hang out with the boys
and that, dude.
Drink a bunch of alcohol in a public lot. You know how it is.
In one of the mining holes. Like, there's not a lot of infrastructure.
We're gotta go down to the mining hole and just drink.
Yeah, dude. Jared, if we grew up in West Virginia, for a fucking fact we'd be doing the exact same thing.
Will, there are people in this town we are currently in that do this kind of shit.
Just go to like
they go to the mud hole
mines
and what have you.
The mud hole. Yeah, that's true.
For sure. Yeah, okay. I don't want to dox this by naming places, but like there is a now closed mud pit where was very popular with my high school.
Yeah.
There's still some mud pits out in the town this direction. I don't want to dox myself again, that people just do this, and they hang out there and drink. Any town though.
Yeah.
That's a thing. You know what I mean? Like this isn't specific to, and of course, they're on the other side of the globe in Australia doing the same thing. Yeah, that's just how it is.
That's just how it is, man. You go to the fucking local opal pit and you
go to I'm going to the opal hole to get drunk on Phosphorus.
Phosphorus.
Although here it'd be Coors Light or No, what's the one that everyone pivoted to? Because it used to be Bud Light, and now the homophobes are drinking something else now. It's not Modelo.
Is it Yingling?
It's probably Yingling. I think you're right.
That's the unfortunate thing is like Yingling is a Tampa brewed drink, and it supports fucking Donald Trump. But it's the only beer that I like, and it sucks.
The only one I've really found a taste for is Miller High Life.
Oh, there's Coors. Coors is another one, a really cheap, shitty beer.
No, Coors for sure. Yeah, I think Coors is the new beer of choice for the Bud Light crowd too. That and Yingling though. Yeah,
Coors sucks,
but piss water. Anyway. Anyway, Adam, again, in full female
regalia.
Thank you. Approaches the men, tries to have a drink with them, and it's going okay.
Yeah, it seems like it's going all right.
And then, he's trying to hit it off with I guess what the leader of the gang is basically
the biggest, burliest,
the biggest dude
guy.
in like a sleeve cut off a flannel shirt.
Yeah,
and then. I think that guy realizes Adam's in drag or what have you, and immediately assaults him, like knocks the beer out of his hand, right?
Yeah, knocks the beer out. He's like, fuck off or whatever. And Adam says something surly because that's what Adam does to press people's buttons. And
then they start chasing Adam across the street.
Yeah.
This is when Bob is there.
Bob is there. That's right. Yeah.
Forgot to mention that Adam addresses Bob and is trying to say hi. And Bob
is not being an ally.
And he's like, this is going to be bad for both of us.
Yeah.
And then Adam picks up like, I guess we don't know each other kind of thing.
Yeah.
So Adam's running away. All these guys are chasing him. Tick and Bernadette see this happen out the window of the restaurant.
Yeah.
Run out there to go help Adam. And just as they catch up to Adam, and they are about to sexually assault him.
They've got him, like 5 or 6 dudes have got him, they're
holding him down. And the leader says split his legs.
Yeah.
And they're like pulling back the dress and everything.
Yeah.
Now, this is when Bob intervenes and starts yelling at them to leave. He's like, get away, leave him alone, and starts cradling him. It's really sweet. He literally puts his arms around his head and everything. And he's like, you have to leave him alone. You can't do this.
Yeah. It's wrong.
Leader of the gang is only enthused by this. He thinks it's funny that Bob knows them. And this is when Bernadette and Tick approach, and Bernadette picks a fight with the guy.
Yeah.
And is like, you need to leave him alone. You're going to have to deal with me. And the guy tells Bernadette to fuck him.
Yeah.
I don't know what goes through the mind of a homophobe in this situation. What's going on there? But Bernadette beats the shit out of him, which is what is important.
Yes.
And then 1-2 combo, just bop, bop, done.
She kicks him in the nuts.
Yeah.
Gets his head down
and then
where
knees him in the chest, or the head, assuming takes him down. Adam gets hit here in the head.
Yes.
I don't remember when it happened, though.
I want to say it's while...
is it when they're pinning him down?
Yeah, they're getting ready to pin him down. He gets hit in the fucking...
Yeah, because he has a bandage wrapped around him later.
That he fashions into bunny ears.
Yeah, he does. It's really cool. Yeah. It's a neat little part of the costume design. But hey, it's won an Oscar for costume design.
It's very true.
For many reasons, though.
Oh, yeah, the outfits are crazy.
I mean, they're insane.
Yeah, they're fucking
We
wild.
glossed over. It's not much to... It's a visual that we can't really...
It's hard to
describe well, but there are vignettes as they're driving across the desert where Adam will be in this
giant
huge
shoe.
aluminum dress.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the
on top
shoe.
of the shoe. Yeah.
But then there's this big flowy dress it's so something out of Mad Max.
I recorded my it's the Octoboss.
Yeah. Well, they also have there's 2 smoke grenades. It's pink and purple, I think, and then they're flying down the road with this big twirly dress.
Yeah. I sent you a video of this. This is one of my favorite clips of the fucking movie, and it's just Guy Pearce on the top of the bus doing fucking weird opera shit.
Yeah,
and it's it's the Octoboss dude from fucking Mad Max.
Exactly. There's a lot of some of the imagery here feels reminiscent of Mad Max for good reason. It's really cool, Anyways, Adam is really shaken about this, obviously, having been hate crimed.
Yeah, hate crime. Yeah, physically hate crimed at this time. Probably the first time Adam's been hate crime.
Probably. I think that is the implication, actually, because he's so young and not used to... Because you get the impression that, Tick and Bernadette are this will happen, and this is why you can't do that shit.
Yeah, this is why they warn you.
And there, I know that is a thing in the community. Oh, the younger generation these days can be so out
and open.
Because they're not used to the homophobia, the hate crime that you deal with, and you have to internalize and hide yourself and not be so flamboyant, And there's kind of an animosity that that happens because of this.
Oh,
I hope I'm not speaking out of turn. This is just what I learned by reading about the community.
You're not.
No, okay, yeah,
Jared, you're not because.
But I worry it's not my place. But like, I'm just trying to,
No, you're absolutely right. I have literally seen this conversation happen before between a person of my
older
age
and younger,
and a person who is in almost their 70s.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
So,
okay, yeah.
And it is a very different dichotomy between the two of them.
Yeah,
you know?
And it's like a whole new world, because it's people, will bitch about like, oh, well, you shouldn't bring kink to pride. I know is like the old long running argument that even I'm aware of as a cishet man, but it's like, well, no, like if we can do it now, we can do it.
And
like,
it's not
why
supposed
not?
to be a corporate
kind of thing.
fucking celebration. It's
Exactly.
supposed to be
like it shouldn't be buttoned up kind of thing.
Yeah.
Although, all the corporations are pulling out of pride now, so fuck it.
Fuck them. Yeah.
Bring kink back.
Yes. I want to see some weird shit.
Like make pride weird or keep pride weird. Yeah.
That's right.
Anyway, so basically after this, they arrive at Alice Springs finally.
Yes, finally.
They roll up to the casino.
Finally, it's happened to be.
And honestly, like they're still kind of on guard, it feels like. And when they get off the bus, they tell the valet, like, oh, we're here to see the owner. And he goes, and the valet guy goes, oh, hey, it's the drag queens. And like yells it across the thing. And they're all kind of like, whoa, shit. Like, can you shout that? Like that's, are we okay? Kind of, you could tell they're on guard about it.
Yeah. Tick goes in first.
Yep. Tick goes in, meets his wife, Marion.
Yes.
They are so cute together. There's no like romantic feelings there, but they are like two long best friends.
Yeah. They know each other. They have a secret language between the two.
You can tell what happened there. This movie is really good about showing, not telling.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So Tick goes in, is talking with Marion, and it's like they're best friends that, have never stopped communicating.
This was a marriage of a convenience, was it not? Because she's implied to be either gay or bisexual.
Well, yes, but let's get there. Hang on. Let's get there. Let's get there. They get along swimmingly. It's like they never missed a day with each other. They're so compatible, like as friends. They just seem so cool together.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt this coming though.
Yeah.
But then we see that.
I actually forgot about this whole part of the movie. Yeah.
See, when this happened, I was like, this is why Will likes this movie.
Well, because he's a little kid?
It's a dad movie.
It's a dad movie, yeah.
We find out that Tick had a child with Marion.
I wasn't a dad when I first saw this.
I know, but but like me, you were always a dad, kind of.
This is true.
But anyway, Tick has an 8-year-old son with Marion.
Mm-hmm.
And we find out that he basically kind of ran away because he wasn't ready to be a father. And we get a lot of what I was about to say without getting to the scene first. We get flashbacks to him having a traumatic experience in the hospital, learning that he's the father now, like the doctor coming out with the baby and being like, you're a father. And he's there in like a big
full drag
outfit being like, what?
Yeah.
Like completely shocked and not ready for it. And the impression I think that's giving is he freaked out, panicked, and was like, I can't be this. I can't be a straight father to a child. Like, this isn't me.
How
and then
am I
ran
going
away
to
to Sydney to become a drag queen.
Exactly. How am I going to fuck up this kid's life because I'm not true to myself? Or what is the stigma of having a gay dad?
Right. I'm sure we find out later that is a big part of his hang up with this too, also. But as he's not meeting, but like kind of reintroducing himself to his son, Benji, and he shakes his little hand. It's so cute.
Oh, it was it's such a good shot too, because the kid's hand is so small.
Courtney and I both went, oh.
Yeah.
But then that's Bernadette and Adam and Bob all walk in, and Bernadette just faints.
Yeah. And it's funny
realizing that that's his son. Yeah.
They do the flashback again, and behind the doctor is Bernadette, Bob.
Oh, they all come
Adam,
in with them in scrubs. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Tick is incredibly anxious about Benji finding out that A, he's gay, and B, that he's a drag performer. But Marion kind of hints that like, I've kind of told him you're a performer, so he might have an idea,
Yeah.
But that night they do their first drag performance because that's what this whole crux of this trip is they're traveling to this casino to do their performances for 3 weeks.
Was that before or after they go on the day trip?
That comes up
Benji?
after.
That does come after.
Yeah, because they already know. Benji already knows at that point. Yeah,
that's right.
It's like the next day, I think.
Okay,
or something.
Yeah.
Anyway,
the drag performance is fucking wild.
The first drag performance.
Yes.
The one where they turn into he eats what is it, like a crow or something, and then it turns into this big like dragon thing.
So there's this the final.
I should say we haven't described any of the drag performances.
No, because they've all been like. I'm sorry.
They're
not
visual.
To alienate our listeners, but like I assume that most of you are our friends and have been to a drag show. They're like typical drag shows, but this performance is not typical. This performance is a love letter to Australia, right? Because the imagery that they're doing, I believe the first thing that they are flowers. And those flowers are I guess like either the country's official flower or like a flower that grows naturally in Australia. I can't remember the name of it. If you watch that video, Matt Baum will tell you what it is.
It is a visual medium. Like if you really need to watch this movie,
they're all little
it's
flowers.
enjoyable. You'll have a great time.
Especially because like the facial expressions of each of the different characters are very different because like Bernadette is very stoic. Like I said, Adam is like really into it. And
Hugo is maybe the most expressive of the three of them.
Yeah, he's
got
scowling.
great control of his face. That's why I think.
That's right. But anyways, the second thing that they are emus. The bird is
because I remember thinking, are these ostriches? Yeah.
Yeah, they're emus. And then after the emu is consumed, they are frilled lizards, which
they
are
literally like one of them
reptilians.
Is like kind of eaten backstage, and you see a feather like fly out, and then when the other one comes out, there's a tail hanging out. Oh, it's great.
And then the final thing that they are is the Sydney Opera House. That's what the big
the shade things. Yeah, I like an idiot like had to say it out loud to my wife, like, oh, it's the Sydney Opera House. And I wanted her to turn around and be like, thanks, genius. I got it, you know.
But yeah, so they were all putting on a performance that is a love letter to Australia.
All things Australia, like iconic, things. But so at the end of the performance, you know, there's applause, but the strongest applause is coming from Marion and Bob.
And Benji, who was not supposed to be there.
Yeah, because Tick is like, Benji's asleep, right? Like Benji's not going to be out here because he's embarrassed. He doesn't want him to see him in drag, and also doesn't want him to see him as like an openly gay man. And when Tick spots Benji applauding in the audience, he faints.
Yeah, that's very good.
And they wake him up in the green room. And he's like, oh my God, he saw me. And Marion's like, it's okay.
Yeah.
He was impressed. He was applauding. Like, it's fine. And then they go on a little day camping trip. All of our main characters, including Bob and Marion.
Before that.
And Benji.
Adam has a conversation with Benji. I think Adam's the only one.
Oh, you're right.
And this is like
I think it's after.
It's before the day date.
The trip.
But I believe it's after.
But he's like, Benji's playing with his toys, and Adam's just kind of babysitting him for a minute.
Yeah, and it's like asking him questions, and he's like, you know, does your mom have a girlfriend? And she's like, no. He's like, not at this moment. You know, it's like, what if?
No, he says like, does your mom see anybody? And she's like, oh, she had a girlfriend, but she's over her now.
Yeah,
and that clues us into like his mom's a lesbian.
Exactly.
And he, you know, isn't fazed by it.
Exactly. And then that's why, and that piques Adam's curiosity.
Yeah.
And so he's like, you know, your dad's gay, right? You know, and he's like, yeah, he's like, you know, what if you had a boyfriend? And he's like, okay, that'd be great. But the whole conversation, this is like Adam seeing the next generation of people growing up, and it doesn't faze them. It's not taboo. Or at least for this kid.
At least for this kid, right? Because it's cluing Adam into being like, oh, Benji's going to be cool with this. Tick's got nothing to worry about.
Well, not even
like,
just
and
that,
he looks proud when he looks at Benji. You know?
But it's not even just that. It's also like Adam is the direct person who gets like physically hate crimed in this film and is constantly getting negative interactions based on
experiences with like straight people.
Exactly.
And I think, and having this like child be completely accepting of like him and his friends.
Exactly.
It's just like,
and thinking like, okay, the kids are going to be all right. Like this isn't this. What is happening to me now is not going to be the norm in the future, hopefully, based off.
I think there's like a glimmer of hope about it.
Exactly. And that's
scene.
That's
right.
That's why I liked Adam.
Yeah.
It like watching his journey, getting to this point and having that conversation and having that realization is, I think, a really hopeful thing in this film.
Yeah.
So yeah, but they go
they go on this day camping trip, and it's really just an excuse for Tick and Benji to bond, and which they do. And Benji is like skipping rocks or something, and Tick is like, you know what I am, right? And he goes, well, Mom says you're the best in the biz. And he just gets this really proud smile, you know, and he's like, oh God, it goes really well. And it ends with a hug. It's so great. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. No, that's when Benji asks like, do you have a boyfriend? And he's like, I don't, but maybe when we get back to Sydney, I'll find one. And
he goes, that'll be great.
Yeah, he's like, that'll be great. And that's, oh God. That's so good.
That's when it also, Hugo Weaving's character has a sigh of relief. Like, okay, maybe I don't need to put on an act because he does go to that date. He is dressed in butch as the girls call
they're
him.
all teasing him about it. Yeah. Because he looks ridiculous.
His ex-wife, or I guess current wife, are they still married?
They are still married,
sure.
Right.
So his wife and Adam and Bernadette are all like, wow, look at you. You're so manly. You know, it's very funny because he's wearing like fucking khaki from head to toe. It's great.
This is just for me, but he looks exactly like a coworker I used to have a few years ago, and I was like, I should text him and be like, "Hey, Hugo Weaving." Like he would, I don't know how he would take it, but like Hugo Weaving looks just like you in this movie. Anyway, while all this is happening, by the way, we haven't referenced this yet, but Bob and Bernadette,
they're hitting it off.
Becoming an item, basically.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because there's like a scene way before this where like they're having a nice conversation at night
before they even get to Alice Springs. Yeah, they spend all night outside talking at a campfire, and she falls asleep on the cake.
Yeah.
So Adam wants to fulfill a lifelong dream of his that you referenced earlier, where he climbs King's Canyon.
That's what it is. Yeah,
in full drag, and so all three of them do it.
Yes.
Adam, Bernadette, and Tick. God, I'm still not going to get his name right.
It's actually really fucking funny.
Then they decide at the top of the canyon, like, all right, let's finish our performances, get back to Sydney. And that is when we cut to Finally by CeCe Peniston, which is an incredible song. I wish to God I could play it on this podcast without getting, getting it shut down. Yeah. But it is the best performance, I think, in the whole movie, hands down. The Finally sequence, it's so good. So Tick and Adam prepare to leave with Benji because is like, I haven't had a vacation in 8 years. Will you please take Benji for a while? And Tick is like, yeah, I want to bond with him anyway and learn about my son and get to know him too. So it's totally like amicable. But Bernadette drops that she is staying behind to, I guess, to do the job that Marion's doing. She's like the guest services manager or something. I forget what it was exactly, but she's going to like help run the hotel basically. Yes. And to the shock of Tick and Adam and also Bob has become like a bellhop at the casino too. So they're like, okay, well, I guess you guys aren't coming back with us, but Tick and Bernadette have a great goodbye sequence, and Bernadette expresses that she's a little scared about doing it, but she's like, I got to try, I could be good at this. And as they're driving away, Adam dead names her again, which sucks. It totally fucking sucks.
It does. You don't do that.
But also Bob and Bernadette stay behind together, presumably because they're becoming a couple now.
Yes.
But it's never explicitly stated. It's only implied and stuff. Yeah. Like he visits her in a wordless scene, in her hotel room. Now the film ends with Tick and Adam giving a lively performance back in Sydney, with Benji operating the spotlight enthusiastically while the crowd goes wild.
Wow, there it is. Yeah.
That's the end of the film.
Yeah. And one last thing, Hugo Weaving ends it with like, thank you. I'm glad to be home.
Oh, right.
And that was a big part, I guess, of the film is like Tick feeling kind of transient, not really knowing what to call Sydney, and then finding that his place all along was there. But yeah, I really like this movie.
It's fantastic. The credits have a lot of like jokes. So if you're watching it, pay attention. There's a lot of neat stuff in there. I had fun catching things.
It was 11:30 for me, and I really needed to go to sleep, so I stayed for a little bit. But yeah,
I'll point out the best one though. As the credits are rolling on the right hand side, there is a full on drag performance happening with I believe it's the costume designer for the film.
Really,
in drag doing performance, and then there is a post credit sequence.
Is there?
You didn't know this?
No,
I was wondering if you caught it.
I didn't because I've like I said, I've only seen this movie twice, and I did not sit through the credits.
It's like 5 seconds long.
Oh, okay.
I'll just tell you what it is.
Yeah, what is it?
Do you remember the kite that they made with like the sex doll?
Doll? That's right. Yeah.
It lands
Diva down.
It lands in. I want to say it's Tibet. It's not stated.
Okay.
But it looks like Tibet to me.
Yeah.
And like a monk catches it and looks at it and is like, "What?" And that's that's the whole thing.
That's fantastic. I love that. Do you know how this movie was sold to me by Mike?
No.
He was like, yeah, it's a gay movie, but it happens in Australia, and they show you a bunch of really cool lizards. Because they do. They show you like...
That 100%.
Yeah, they show bearded dragons.
It's not a lie.
No, it's not. They show bearded dragons, thorny devils, and I believe blue-tailed...
Every time they cut to a new lizard, I remember my wife going, oh, cool.
Yeah, that was me the first time I saw the movie too. I was like, oh, hey, I know that.
So
Yeah.
funny.
Dude, I love lizards.
That's just Mike knows how to sell a specific audience.
Yes, he was like, yeah, dude, it's got gay shit, but like it happens in Australia and
It's
they've
got
got
gay shit.
lizards. Well, this was at the time because everybody knew this was back in the day when my bearded dragon was still alive, Katra, and so like he's like, oh, you like lizards? They're in this movie.
Okay, I've got some fun trivia.
All right, let's hear it.
The town of Broken Hill,
Yes.
where the characters first
I know this
encounter
one.
rural homophobia,
Mhm.
at the time did have that reputation in real life. But after the popularity of this film, it established its own annual drag festival.
That's right.
I want to say it was in the 20-aughts. However, it was announced that 2024 was the last event for some time, as the hotel that hosts it is undergoing renovations.
Oh, okay.
But it was
they didn't cancel it because
No.
the
Not
clock's
'cause
turned
of-
back. Okay, cool. That's
right.
good.
No. But like it is, I looked up the website for it. Like the website for last year's is still up. They put some money into this website.
Yeah.
Like it is a big event.
Yeah,
It's
it
huge.
brings in a lot of tourism
I bet,
and
'cause
whatnot. This put the
They were
town
like,
on the
tickets
fucking
are
map.
out now on like this
Yeah.
big fancy webpage. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Priscilla, the bus, was one of the opening ceremony parade entries at the 2000 Summer Olympics in Sydney.
That's right. Yeah, they paid homage to Priscilla, Queen of the Desert
Mhm.
in the Sydney performance. They had drag queens that performed
Yep.
as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Yeah, because it was a big deal.
And it was also a big deal in America because it was censored by NBC when it was broadcast in America.
No
They
shit.
cut around the bus.
Fuck you, America.
Fuck you,
It's
NBC.
one-
Yeah,
Once again, it's an embarrassment
to be American.
to be here now.
And hey, this episode probably drops around the 4th, so
Yeah.
mm.
Mm.
We talked about Tu Wong Fu enough. I'm not going to bring it up again, but it's
Yeah.
often considered to be a ripoff of this movie. But they were being made simultaneously.
Yeah,
basically.
I don't feel that way.
Yeah. So when they go on their day camp and they're playing charades, do you remember Benji?
Oh,
the
yes.
kid. He acts out
Linda Chamberlain?
Lady Chamberlain.
Later Chamberlain.
Now, this is a famous story in Australia. Have you ever heard the phrase, a dingo ate my baby?
Oh my God. Yes.
It was like the John Bonet Ramsey
That's right.
of Australia,
Yes.
so to
Yes.
speak. Hopefully that rings true for some people listening, if
It-
you're of our age or older.
It should. Yeah.
But yeah, I won't super get into it, but it was like a couple that was suspected of having killed their own kid that went missing.
Mhm.
And so that's why I think Bernadette says, "Oh, you're a naughty boy," for referencing that kind of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
And she doesn't even look amused, and it's actually really fucking funny.
Well, Bernadette's like very deadpan. but
Yeah, it's good.
She's so good.
It's
I
a good
love Bernadette
performance.
so much.
Yeah.
Terrence did an incredible job.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
absolutely. He said
Damn.
he was going to challenge himself, and he fucking did it. And then he went
Yeah.
to do a Star Wars
I read
movie
a
right
thing where
after.
he was like, they asked him how he got into character, and he's just like, I just imagine myself as a beautiful woman. And it's like, buddy,
He did it.
great job.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking incredible for 94, especially.
Yeah.
Because like I'd kind of expect this kind of performance now from a cis person playing a trans person, although
Mhm.
it'd be
Probably problematic.
Yeah.
There's plenty of trans actors now.
it's like
We
you
might
could
as
just
well
hire
like,
a trans person now is the thing, but you
Let's
know,
get Hunter Schafer as Princess Zelda. Fucking do it.
that's good. Yeah. Okay, so in the closing credits, there is one of the jokes that I referenced that happens is there's a logo that states the film was shown in Dragorama. And it's a play on like the Panorama or
Yeah,
Panavision
yeah.
that they always have in like the post credits.
Mhm.
But this was a real thing. Select theaters, while the movie was in theaters, would have a mirror ball in the
Oh, no
auditorium
shit.
with colored lighting for the finally dance number, and it would light up the whole auditorium.
That's so cool.
Now, last year,
Yes.
writer and director Stephen Elliott announced that a sequel to Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, was in pre-production, and the entire original cast is on board so far.
Terrence is still alive?
Apparently,
Holy shit. How old
you're
is
actually
he now?
making me want to Google this now because
He's got to be like
in the snippet I
his
read, he's like
70s.
he
or
just said
80s,
the
dude.
original cast is on board.
That's fucking crazy. Bob is still alive?
Bob is dead. I know
yeah,
that
I
for a
would say
fact.
Bob cannot be
Bob
alive.
reprised his role in the stage plays,
Did he? That's fantastic.
but
That's
he
so
did
cool.
die in 2012.
Oh, rest in peace, Bob. Terrence Stamp is probably still
Terrence Stamp is alive, but he is 86.
alive. There it is. I knew. I was like, he's got to be somewhere in his 80s, dude.
Who is
The other old man who looks just like him.
no?
Oh, okay.
I was going to
There's
say
like three.
Are there any famous trans actors in their 50s that could play this character?
Aren't they just going to age
and, like,
up all these?
Well, no, like say we do a remake.
Oh, okay. Let me think.
Because I don't, the trans actors I know are young, you know?
Hold on. I know there's got to be.
It doesn't mean there
I'm
aren't
going to
any.
get fucking flamed if I don't answer this question.
I want to say it doesn't mean that there aren't any. It just means
Right.
there aren't any that we know, you know?
I can't think of anybody.
Yeah.
There's not a single one that looks like they're old.
That's the thing. They're not.
I think
And that's a shame because it just hasn't been.
I think Alexandra Billings is the closest one.
You know who comes to mind? Hold on.
Alexandra Billings is 63 years old.
Oh, okay.
But can she put on an Australian accent, or does this have to be take place somewhere else? Does this have to take place in America, where they drive across, like they go from California to New York or something?
So Will and Harper is a documentary about
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Will Ferrell
Yep.
kind of reuniting with an old friend who is trans, and Will hasn't really kept up with her
That's
like
right, yeah.
post transition and
Yes.
decides to use this as an experience to like get to know her now
yeah.
and like understand what it's like to be trans in America these days.
mhm.
Her name is Harper Steele.
Mm-hmm. Oh, would that be your pick?
Yes,
Okay.
because she is definitely in that age group
Gotcha.
for sure.
Mhm.
And she's not really an actress is the thing,
Sure.
but she is a great writer. She has written some incredible movies. Let me pull up her IMDb because I was like, do I know this person? And then in the documentary, when they start talking about all the movies that she's written, it's how she knows Will Ferrell. I was like, oh my
shit,
God.
Yeah. Can IMDb fucking sponsor us? I'm always using their goddamn website on this fucking show.
Can it stop getting worse every day too? I mean,
Look, if it's going to get worse, they might as well just funnel us some of the money too. Like, so they have an excuse.
Okay. So Harper was a longtime writer on Saturday Night Live.
Mhm.
That's
Yes.
how she got to know Will, obviously. She also wrote on the Jon Stewart show, not the Daily Show. That was a different thing. She wrote for the Ladies Man movie. I don't know if that's a good thing. Casa de mi Padre. Did you ever see this?
Nope.
It is a Spanish language drama
Mm-hmm.
comedy starring Will Ferrell.
Oh, yes. I have seen this.
So funny.
Where he goes to, he has a,
he has to fight the cartel.
oh, no, never mind. This isn't the one that I was thinking of.
Okay.
Because there's where he's like having a garage sale.
No, that's Everything Must Go.
That's it.
Yeah, that was made around the same time though.
Okay.
But no, this is it's like in the style of a Spanish like telenovel where it's like very dramatic.
Yeah.
And it's a Western at the same time. And it's all in Spanish.
That's crazy.
It's all in Spanish. It's Will like struggling to like,
say
get
Spanish.
all-
Yeah, that's fine.
My favorite recurring bit in that movie is he's always trying to roll his own cigarette,
Okay.
you know,
Yeah.
and he just can't
You just can't
do it. And it's so fucking funny. He keeps like he keeps going and going and he just rolls the worst fucking cigarette and he's just committed to it, to smoking the shittiest little cigarette that he rolls. It's tight. It's a great movie. The Spoils of Babylon, which was a great mini series on IFC. The Spoils Before Dying, which was the sequel. Eurovision Song Contest. That was that movie that came out during the pandemic.
And everybody watched it. Yeah.
So that's a great
It was a
movie.
good one. Yeah. I like that one.
Will Ferrell and Rachel McAdams.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my pick.
That's your pick. Gotcha.
Will,
Yes.
you are familiar with the drag scene.
I thought you were going to be like, Will, you're gay. And I'm like, yeah.
But
For the
you
most
watch
part.
a lot of like RuPaul's Drag Race.
I did. I
And-
used to watch a lot of RuPaul's Drag Race. I've since
you've
fallen
seen a
off.
lot of it. I don't mean
Oh,
that
yeah.
you're current. I just mean you've seen a lot of
Oh,
drag
yeah. 100%.
performances and
Yes,
shows and
absolutely.
what have you.
I've had my dick touched in Key West by a drag queen. Yeah.
I bring that up to ask you,
Yes.
are the performances in this movie stiff and not as exciting as they would be if they were real drag performers?
Ooh, I would say that the performances that they do inside of the dive bars are definitely less. Hold on, let me think real quick.
Mhm.
So, of the performances that I've seen,
Mhm.
because I used to go to Pulse in Lakeland
Mhm.
and see like our local drag artists who were definitely doing drag on a dime.
Doing the most with the least kind of
Exactly.
thing, yeah.
But they were having fun with it, and the crowd was having fun with it, and they would make space for them to, walk off the stage and do their performances in front of people, right? And then in Key West, when I saw the performances, there was two people that would stay on stage and just do lip syncing. And like, that's fine if you're really good at it, if that's what you want to do. But you get more of a pop and more engagement when you are out amongst the crowd. And one of them would constantly go around and, you know, do
like,
funny things.
Do crowd work almost.
Exactly,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And so when you look at the performances that they did, most of them were in dive bars with people who did not want them to be around.
And
right?
crowds that weren't as accepting, maybe.
A good example of the differences between performances of crowds that were into it and crowds that weren't is the performance that they did with the indigenous people. Everybody's having a good time. They're moving around.
It's almost collaborative.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
That is more of what I'm used to.
Yeah.
And then I've never seen a show or anything like that at like a casino, like in Vegas or whatever.
Right.
So I don't know,
like
but
a big stage production.
Exactly. But I have seen Showgirls, and I did actually recently watch on Courtney's suggestion, The Last Showgirl, because
the Pam Anderson movie.
Yeah, because it finally went to streaming, and like that was what they were doing in this movie was very reminiscent of like those kinds of
old
shows.
school cabaret.
Exactly, and like that's not for me.
I think that's more of what, especially Bernadette's character is apparently a veteran of that sort of thing. And I wonder if that's why it came off to me as stiff.
Gotcha.
Because I don't, and again, I'm asking you this because I don't have a lot of experience with drag.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can't recall a lot of performances that I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I watched Paris is Burning, which is an amazing documentary about more than just drag.
It's way more than drag.
All kinds of performances.
Exactly.
And like,
they're having a lot of fun. But that's the thing, is that they're doing runway, or they're doing crowd work.
And I was enthralled.
Yes.
There are so many performances where I was floored. I'm like, and this movie's older than me.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, holy shit.
Well,
it's
like documentary.
It is a documentary. It's a full-blown documentary.
Yeah.
But I just remember even the performances in that documentary, I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I am stunned.
Yeah.
You know, and this was like underground.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like this was not mainstream.
Yeah.
Granted, it kind of became mainstream because Madonna ripped it all off.
Yeah, Vogue.
And stole voguing from the gay community, you know.
Co-opted it.
Yeah, co-opted, I guess, because, you know, gay people, Madonna has a lot of gay fans, you know, in the community. Yes. But, you know,
so
it's because she's
right. But that's the big difference. That's what I'm getting at, is the difference is the style, where in Paris is Burning and I guess a lot of more underground scenes, it's a lot of extra performance. It is moving through the crowd and getting everybody like excited.
That's where it's more lively, maybe.
Exactly. And I think that what they're doing in this film is more cabaret style.
Well, how many stars would you give Priscilla?
Oh shit, dude! It's got it's Australia. It's got lizards. It's got the gay experience. This is a 5 out of 5 for me. Like,
nice.
I don't think that I truly don't think that there's anything bad about this. I'm like, yeah, it's dated, it's old, but like
not as dated as you would think for a 30-plus-year-old movie, though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I love this movie. I just like rewatching it reminded me how much I really enjoy this movie.
Well, yeah, I gave it a 3.5 on Letterboxd.
That's fair.
I could give it a 4 though. But man, the Cynthia stuff really rubbed me the wrong way.
No, I understand. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's
now.
Okay, hold on. I'll have to go to like 4.5 because that Cynthia stuff is actually pretty good. I forget it exists. That's the thing. It's like it's so
all the good stuff kind of
gets around it.
Would you release this on the Debaser boutique Blu-ray label?
Baby is gay, and so yes, I would say absolutely. I'm
in agreement.
Yeah, this movie. This movie's more than just gay, but like this movie has. I mean, if you've listened to this point in the show, you understand the reason why I like this film. Yeah. There's a lot going on there. It's more than just a comedy. It's way more than what Tu Wong Fu is. You know, and it's a love letter to Australia, which I love, even though I've never been. And it's got a lot to say, and it deals with a majority of those topics with respect. Yeah. So yeah.
And to me, I think it's important as an archive because, like, you know, for a movie that is from 3+ decades away, it's still, you know, 95% of it is still shockingly progressive.
Yes.
I mean, even right now, when we feel like we're rolling back on things, you know, it stands head and shoulders above many, many movies from its time. As we referenced earlier, there was a movie released that same year where a trans person was a villain
in Ace Ventura.
Purely, yeah. Oh my God, I can't get into that.
No.
But yeah, I think it's an important movie of its time, and it aged well, mostly, and it's still entertaining to audiences. You know, still has a great message, still helps humanize, you know, the LGBTQ community, and even though it didn't cast people from the community as its stars,
yes,
you know, maybe that wasn't something that would have been realistic at the time.
Yeah, if they were to do a remake now, I think it would be much easier.
I agree.
For them to do. They wouldn't be doing like Timothy Chalamet as Adam,
right? And if the sequel actually gets off the ground, its stars returning as an aside, I'm sure it will be filled to the brim with people from the community.
Oh, absolutely,
you know, as the supporting and extras and so forth.
Roger Ebert might get the movie that he was asking for. You know,
I'm sure there'll be some convoluted plot, but but yeah, absolutely. I would also release it under a label.
Just quick aside, it is a shame that we live in a capitalist shithole where art is stifled due to the want and need to gain capital, and it's a big shame. We're losing original ideas every single day because it's not profitable. That just bums me out in ways I cannot express.
Well, this is all in reference to the Pixar movie that's in theaters right now,
Elio.
although maybe not by the time you hear this.
Yeah, I think that's what I was saying. It's like, oh yeah, I saw Elio, but by the time this comes out, it's probably going to be removed from theaters because it's making no fucking money.
Yeah,
because people would rather go see live action remakes and sequels to shit, and it's all bad. Like the movie was cute, it was really good, and that's why it's like I can't even fucking talk about it or suggest it because it's definitely not going to be in theaters, and like watching on streaming does nothing. And Pixar is going to be how do you say creatively bankrupt in a couple of years.
Yeah. Are they already pivoting to just sequels? And
the
stuff
next
now?
6 films that they are doing, of the next 6 films that they're doing, 4 of them are sequels. 2 of them are original IPs. And you know for a fucking fact, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I think that Disney is purposely not, advertising their original IP stuff in a way that makes people want to go see these films or have confidence in these films. Yes, to set it up for failure, to make Pixar into just another sequel machine that pumps out easy. Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, what are we doing? I mean, they did this shit to Treasure Planet.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, it's such a bummer, man. Like, it feels like there's nothing to be excited about anymore because like the world that we live in is
we still
so
get
shitty.
the occasional sinners.
This is true. And, you know,
don't lose hope.
I say this, but like, once again, in our last episode, I raved about, Bring Her Back, the Philippou Brothers.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, we got an Ari Aster film that's coming out next month, even though who knows if it's good or not. I don't fucking care. I want money to go into Ari Aster's pocket. If I could even just skip watching the movie and just deposit $30 into his pocket and give him a nice handshake, that would be probably a better experience. But yeah, it's just like, it's a bummer. You know, we've got a fucking, even though I'm excited about these, we've got a fucking Jurassic Park sequel movie coming out. We've got a Superman reboot coming out. We got the Fantastic Four. Like, I know I'm a part of the problem, but I have made it my goal to go and put money into things that I believe in. And even though Elio is not advertised to me, it's advertised to children. It was important for me to take my kid to go see it, especially because like, he likes aliens. He thinks aliens are fucking cool. And he's seen the advertisements in the theaters and whatnot. And he's expressed that he wanted to see it. And I was like, fuck it. I'm going to take you to go see this fucking movie. I don't care if it sucks. It's an original idea. I believe in it. You're going to be entertained. So let's go do this. And we all loved it. The whole family enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's like, I can't sing its praises because it's definitely not. I'm willing to do a $5 bet to anybody, to you. I'll do a $5 bet to you that it's not going to be in theaters by the time this episode airs.
I believe it, yeah. Because Disney has to take up all the air in their room when they have a movie in theaters.
Yeah, I know.
And they like make theaters like, hey, we have to take up all of your premium format seating, auditoriums and all that stuff. It's so frustrating, but it also is expensive for them to do that. And so that's why they pull movies that aren't performing well so fast out of theaters.
That makes sense. Yeah, because like when we were looking at showtimes on Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Maybe a few things that'll be exciting to hear.
Okay, let's hear.
Nobody 2 is coming still.
Oh, yeah.
It looks okay. That new trailer had me.
I haven't
jacked.
seen the trailer, but the first movie was silly and fun.
His whole family gets involved, basically.
Oh, okay.
There's a new Tron movie that people are excited about.
Yeah, but fucking what's his name is getting canceled.
Should have been a long time ago.
This is true. This is true.
Jared Leto, rest in piss. We hate you. We don't need to bring up the allegations because I don't even know what they are.
It's hard to be excited for that film though because I like Tron.
I know.
You know me. I like fucking Tron, man.
Listen, I don't let him ruin Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah,
but
he's supposed to be the main character.
Oh, that I didn't know.
Yeah, they're not bringing back the son. So. Jared Leto's character is supposed to be.
He was supporting. Oh, fuck.
He's the person who inherited the business from the villain from the first film.
Flynn.
Not Flynn.
Big Lebowski. Oh, okay.
No. Big Lebowski loses the company.
Jeff Bridges.
Jeff Bridges' character loses the company to a competitor because he's not there to
Jesus Christ
to protect the thing because he gets sucked back into the program.
Yeah,
and so his competitor, the competing video game company, buys it. And he's the guy that makes the comptroller from the first one, the big face and whatnot. Yeah. And so Jared Leto's character is the person who inherited that from his father, who was the main villain in the first movie.
Okay.
And so he's the main character of this one.
But there are some credible accusations coming out, as there always have been.
Yeah.
About him.
Nobody's
I think even James Gunn at one point referenced them.
Oh yeah.
And being there. I saw a Twitter post from years ago where James Gunn, someone was another celebrity, again, allegedly, I don't know how much of this is true. But there was another celebrity posting on Twitter about how he DMs every model that's 18 and 19. And James Gunn was like, oh, he only goes for 18 and up? Because that's not what I heard or some shit.
Oh, shit. Yeah. He's got that cult island. Yeah. It's
a weird dude, allegedly.
He's always been a weird guy.
There's a Naked Gun reboot, which
I never got into those movies.
They're funny.
I like Liam Neeson.
And the trailer for this looks good.
Okay.
So I've been optimistic about it because on paper it sounds like dog shit.
Yeah.
But the trailers have been pretty funny. Okay. So we'll see. The Old Guard 2, which I'm excited about. You
sent me the poster for that. Yeah. I have to go home and watch the first one.
The first one's great. It's a Netflix original. Yeah. Written by Greg Rucka, who's one of my favorite comic book writers. The director of that movie isn't doing the sequel, unfortunately. I just pulled it up to double check because she's really cool. She did Love and Basketball, which is a great movie too. But that new Avatar is still scheduled for this year.
Oh, is it this year? I thought it was next year.
That's what it says.
No fucking way. Dude, if
it might get delayed. I wouldn't set my hopes on it.
Yeah,
but
no.
I will always be in the theater for Avatar. James Cameron has earned a ticket purchase for life.
Oh, I know. My son loves the Avatar world, so I'll probably end up taking him to go see it.
Will you do 4DX this year?
Not with my son, but yes, I probably will.
Because that was the best 4DX.
Oh, I know. I'm aware.
Oh, that movie that Jordan Peele is producing, Him.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That looks nuts. That will be exciting. There's a new Megan.
Oh, dude, that new Megan is actually gonna fucking rule. It is.
I think it might.
It's so fucking campy. I think it's going to kick so much ass.
Okay.
Yeah. What's up?
This is probably going to be the best movie out of all of them. Weapons.
Oh, yeah. The guy who did Barbarian. Yeah.
Zach McGregor, I think is his name.
I had to explain to Haley because she saw the poster and was was like, what the fuck is this? And I was like, oh, it's a new horror movie by the guy, by one of the people that we like. I can't remember who it was.
Yeah.
And it's
he's one of the whitest kids you know.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Second, well, his third film, but he doesn't acknowledge that first one that he did.
Oh, what is it?
It's a really shitty road trip movie, and it's got a lot of problematic stuff.
Like a ribald comedy kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he chooses to say that's not his first film.
Right.
But anyways, I tried to explain it to my wife, and when we saw Bring Her Back, the trailer played, and we got to see more of it, and she was like, "Oh, I'm so fucking in," and yeah, me too. It's in August, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
All I know is the teaser for it, where the kids are all running away in the middle of the night. And
it looks crazy,
freaky.
and it's got Kate Gardner, I think, is. The protag.
Edgar Wright did a remake of The Running Man, which I'm not optimistic about.
I've never seen
but we'll
Running
see.
Man.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's super 80s.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
But it's fun. And also, did you ever play Manhunt, the Rockstar games on the PS2?
No.
Complete ripoff of that movie. Though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But it's a fun movie. And it's based on a Stephen King story, but it has nothing in common with it.
Oh, right on.
It is unfortunately a little too real now because it's about a game show host president, I should say.
Fuck.
Oh, you liked that Predator movie that just came out?
Predator Badlands comes out later this year. That's right. It's got
Well, you liked the Hulu one that just came out.
Yeah,
too.
it was fantastic. And it's done by the same director.
What is that one called? The one that is out?
Killer of Killers.
Killer of Killers. Yeah, and it's like a bunch of vignettes. Is it?
No,
or?
it's overall. So it is.
Oh.
They have it start playing as if they were not vignettes, but what is it called? Where the episodes are by itself, like it contains stories.
Yeah, just different contained stories.
It's not like non-linear storytelling. But anyways, you slowly find out that all of these characters are connected in some way, and so it's like it's not just a episodic. It's a whole fucking movie, and it was so good. Holy fuck, that movie was great. It like. Danny Trachtenberg is 2 for 2 as far as I'm concerned for Predator stuff. So I think that Badlands is actually going to fucking rule.
Oh, yeah. I just came across Badlands too. Yeah. Okay. Sick. All right.
There is things to look forward to. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just, it feels like creativity only exists in like the horror genre.
Yeah. Well, folks, I think that's been our show. Thank you for listening to Debaser. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to us on your podcast app and follow us on social media by searching for @DebaserPod. My wonderful co-host is Will. Will, where can people find you? Do you have anything to plug? I'm
on Blue Sky as Will Switch Engage. I'm also on Instagram, but you probably already know that right now. And what would I like to plug? Well, if this was coming out tomorrow, I would say Elio, but it is what it is. So that poor movie needs all the help it can get.
Rent Elio on VOD today.
There you go.
Or it's on streaming on Disney Plus probably already.
Killer of Killers is great. Go see that. It's on Hulu. Fucking watch that.
Predator. It's animated.
It's animated.
Nice.
And you can get away with so much more with animation. It's fantastic.
A lot cheaper too, I bet.
Yeah.
I will be knee deep in Death Stranding 2 by the time you hear this, so please do not call or text me or ask me for anything.
Yeah, don't talk to Jared.
I will be trying to platinum that game as fast as possible.
That's why we're recording right now, back to back 3 weeks in a row. I'm proud of us.
Yeah, we need to get back on top of our schedule, so it's good.
But hey, this is going to buy you at least 3 weeks, or at 4 weeks actually, because technically we won't have to fucking record until like the day before the next episode that has to come out.
Maybe by the time you hear this, I will have some news, but I have no idea when that's coming out.
It's not RCW, right? Is it?
No, that's season 1 is.
That's right. Yeah.
I'll go ahead and plug it though. Our Reno Championship Wrestling is out. Season 1 just wrapped up a few weeks ago, so it's a great time to jump in. You can listen to the whole season. I play a small role in it. It's fantastic. It is a scripted show about like a small wrestling circuit. But yeah, stay tuned. I have news coming out.
Jared's doing shit. He's making moves.
I'm trying.
He's moving different.
I'm trying to do stuff. All right. Well, for my co-host Will Taylor, I'm Jared Rusk. Good night, everybody.
Good day.
Debaser, a film podcast, is hosted and produced by Will Taylor and Jared Rusk. The show is mixed and edited by Jared Rusk. The theme song is also by Jared Rusk. The cover art is by Dog Bites Back on Instagram. Special thanks to Haley and Courtney for their love and understanding. Check out debaserpod.com for links to all of our episodes and to find us on social media like Blue Sky, Instagram, and YouTube. Thank you for listening, and take care of each other.